Gather round, we got no gods to please. Saturday night, no sermons, just ease. Discussions flow like midnight breeze. No prophets here, just minds to tease. We talk big bangs and evolution. Question faith with our solution. Stars align in our confusion. Breaking free from old illusion. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers. Open hearts and swift deceivers. Make your stand, no hidden levers. Raise your glass to reason's thrill. No ancient text, it's our own will. Debate till dawn, feel velvet chill. Saturday night, we've got the skill. Echoes of a godless choir. Like the world, let's spark the fire. Free our mindset to inspire. No holy walls to take us higher. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers.
Hello, everybody, including Mike from Answers in Atheism, Scott Duke, Simos Funk, and Brainless Steel. Hello, gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
Howdy.
Pretty good.
Excuse the background noise. The boys are working on the roof. They made a lot of progress today, and they're on a roll. And you don't stop a man from working when he's working hard. So forgive the noises. They should be wrapping it up. It's getting late. So
Speaking of background noise, when that video that we're going to go over today,
yeah,
I really want to find the son of a bitch that was eating potato chips by the microphone and strangle him.
Makes you want a potato chip and really want to not want a potato chip at the same time.
I really wanted to kill him.
I was discussing before the show here. I was considering filtering it out, and then I said, no, you know what? The dude's sitting there chawing on some chips right into the microphone, and they know they're recording. They've done this over and over again. They do it week after week. They do recordings, and they're gonna chew chips into a microphone. Well, they deserve to have it. Maybe that's why it only has 100 views. People were really annoyed by it. I don't know.
You think they would listen to it at some point and say, God damn, that was aggravating.
Well, I mean, anybody nowadays knows that these microphones are sensitive. And if you're eating a bag of chips, you're going to get picked up chewing on a bag of chips. And this dude really loved his chips, and they seem to be like individually packaged or something, one chip at a time.
Right, he had a lot of them. I mean, he was like for an hour he was eating them. It's just like
I think you can get through a fair number of you can get through a fair number of packs.
That's
wait a minute.
I just add in their Walkers, of course, they're Walkers crisps, cheese and onion, or salt and vinegar. I'm going for salt and vinegar because he really got through them quite quick.
Yeah, I thought of another thing. Another possibility, I don't know what religious sect, but maybe it was his underwear. I don't know what they, like some, some cults like to wear some different kind of underwear.
Yeah, I think it's the Church
Soul
of Jesus
thing?
Christ, the Church of Jesus Christ, the Potatoist. I think.
Well, we were talking. This is the same group of gentlemen that we were covering last week. I have. I should probably have had the note pulled up already. I did pull up from their description on their channel.
Bearing in mind how they interpret the pictures, I'm not going to go. I'm not holding out much hope for this, Dave. I'm not holding out much hope at all. I don't think this description is going to be awfully relevant, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. We've seen the video. Some of us have seen the video. Their interpretation skills aren't the greatest, I'd say. Probably not the greatest. So, when it comes to writing descriptions on their channel, I'm not holding out a lot of hope. But maybe they had some pretty heavyweight intellectuals there.
But there's not much here. It just says the LFSPN, the Legio Philorum Sancti Philippi Neri, in brackets, the Legion of the Sons of Saint Philip Nerti. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, straight away you can tell by the Latin they're very intellectual, not just slightly.
Highbrow stuff here.
Yeah.
It's a traditional Catholic youth program committed to the spiritual, intellectual, and physical formation of its members, so as to establish the reign of Christ the King in Britain. In Britain. Oh, my.
Oh, dear.
They have just shy of 300 subscribers, 28 videos, and they've been at it since the 17th of 2023.
Yeah, they have a study for men and children or something. I think they mentioned it. I looked it up last time.
I've seen some of the videos.
For women.
And they talk about the, I mean, I know they're highly intellectual because they talk about the great Kent Hovind. Great and wonderful Kent Hovind.
That is something that won me over these videos. Folks that know me know that I don't like talking about the Hawaiian shirt guy that much. Other folks that cover him, go ahead. The dude gives me the creeps. But the very beginning of the video that we covered last week, one of the first things he said was, "This is the great Hovind that has all the evolutionists by the cojones," and he started out with this week's video too. This is like 4 or 5. I called it number 2. It's very confusing, I know, but he confused me because he has it broke down in parts 4, 1A, B, 2, 3, C. I don't know what the heck he's doing. It's Hovind's Hawaiian shirt guy stuff.
Dave. You wouldn't understand. Dave.
I guess it was too complicated for me, so I just said part 2, even though it was part 4, but technically it was part 5 because there's 5 parts of the 4, which I didn't understand how it went from 5 and how I missed one. But anyways, whatever it is, this is a 4th video at least that they made on Hawaiian Shirt Guy, and I thought it was way too many of them. But for Saturday Night the Atheist, I just couldn't resist. And then this guy, I don't want to give it away, but he's really being annoying through about half the video. And I thought, I just can't watch any more of this video. It's driving me nuts. And then I thought, no, it's perfect. I'm going to play the video as is, as bad as they made it. And it's nothing new. As a matter of fact, a lot of this stuff I've covered on my own channel. It's complete and utter nonsense. Man lived with dinosaurs. Well, of course he did, just like the Flintstones, right? And, that's the kind of nonsense level we're dealing with. So don't expect anything too intellectual this evening. Many of us have heard this before. We've had a good chuckle about it before. And I think the most amusing thing is they're still bringing up this stuff how many years later, like it's new to them or something, and praising this Hawaiian shirt guy. and he surely doesn't deserve any. So, any comments before we jump right into it? Go ahead.
Of course, Dave. Of course, I've got comments, right? Like, I just want to mention last week's video. Like, as you rightly said, the guy said that Kent Hovind, the great Kent Hovind, has evolutionists by the gonads, and I felt it was a bit disappointing that he actually showed his gonads to demonstrate that. But nonetheless, go back and watch last week's show if you haven't, and see that fantastic moment. And then also, I like this week. They're a little more reserved. He starts thinking about showing his gonads, but he doesn't. Right? It's close though. It's close. So see if anybody watching, you see if you can spot that out. And if you manage to spot the bit I'm referring to, type a 1 in chat or an F in chat for his gonads. And then the third thing.
I had to see him.
Oh God! So the third thing, of course, is that bear in mind that they are ministering to men and boys only. Okay, so when you see them, like the Church of Jesus Christ and his gonads, when you see the guy trying to demonstrate that, just remember, they're doing this in front of men and boys potentially. Okay, that's all I've got to say. Anybody else?
No.
That's about it.
Oh yes, I love that.
I will mention. I will mention that I go for treatments next week. Last week was all the pre-testing, and I had every test in the world, and I'm supposed to be ready, scheduled, and good to go next week for my treatments. And I hope everything goes well. And anybody that wants to know what is the current state of affairs, I have been on the Mighty Filbert show, and he graciously allowed me to repost it so everybody can check that out too. And I've also been on with Brooklyn Lou doing an interview about my channel and about my a little bit about my health too. And that's going to be posted next on my channel because Brooklyn Lou also graciously said, by all means, go ahead and post it on your channel. I just didn't do them on the same day. So a couple days difference. You can get all caught up on what's going on. And other than that, Dave's getting lasered this week. And cross fingers that guy's got good aim. All right. And that's all I'm going to bore you with this week. I can say stay tuned on my channel. Any news, I will post it and let you all know what's going on. Okay. Lately, though, you may notice I'm a little fluffy. I picked up about 30 pounds in water weight and ended up in the emergency room. They dosed me up last night, and boy, did I pee. I'm 4 pounds lighter today. So I did pick up some water weight, but they checked me out. Everything's fine. It's just post-operative. I guess when they drop you down from your meds, your body has a reaction often, and it's to make you swell up. So it's not unexpected. These things happen. They took care of it. I did have to go to the emergency room to have it done, but man, let me tell you what, they stuck this thing in my arm, a little bottle of stuff, and it makes you pee like all night long. So pretty incredible stuff, really. So you're welcome, Lake Erie. And let's get right to this top tier video because these guys are just besides themselves with how great this guy is. We
want to apologize,
Dave.
I accidentally showed my porn channel. I didn't
realize I've seen that one as well. Like, oh my god,
and so the Hawaiian shirt guy is very popular in certain parts of the world, it seems, even to this day, and it's incredible. So here he is, and we've got. Well, before we start, we got Fred dropping $10 Australian. Says Darwinism is wrong because there ain't no such thing except in the mind of incompetent excuse Jesus. I like that word. And Fred, just for you.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on to the skies, to the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Be careful picking up those Australian dollars. They have a deadly sting.
Fred, you rock. Thank you very much, Fred. And hello, everybody else joining us, including Rochelle, Tilting Windmill, Katie. So Dave totally understands the old metaphor. I'm trying. I'm really trying. Rochelle dropping links. Thank you, Rochelle. Tilting Windmill, find Dave's interview with Filbert here. Yeah, Mighty Filbert was a great time. So is Brooklyn Lou. I will have Brooklyn Lou's posted. Give them a few days apart. You know, I don't want to overload everybody, but both of them were great interviews. Great hosts. Thanks a lot for having me on. Rabbit Atheist is here. Hello, Rabbit Atheist. And Objective Ethics. Good to see you. Folks are in the chats as well as out on the panel. Thank you for dropping those comments, including Simos and Scott Duke. And yes, we do love toast. Lisa for Truth is here. Hello, Lisa. Good to see you. And Chris Moore is here. And let's see, Fred, we already saw Fred. Fred dropping the super chat. And Fred had a question, was asking about the anagram for Skeptic Skeptic Dave. Yes, I am an anagram. Captive Desk is Skeptic Dave. So for those that don't know, now you know. So that's how I got the channel name. And we are back all the way to the top. Okay, it's good to see everybody. Oops. Pull the comments back up. Okay. Hit the wrong button. Come on, Dave, get with it. You're doing so well. Don't start screwing up now. Okay. That's the only thing that you got to do is boom, boom. There we go. Okay. Now we're back. All right. So let's dive right in with this gentleman's club about Hawaiian Shirt Guy.
Why aren't dinosaurs mentioned in the Bible then? Like, you notice dinosaurs are really the kind of the bullet by which evolutionary ideas are delivered, and they start at an early age, like the Jesuits. I defy anybody, find me a single primary school in the country, one, anywhere, where there is not a children's book about dinosaurs.
Okay, well, could anybody possibly wonder why? I mean, you know, a book about dinosaurs, like
why
what a
should
terrible
be a book about dinosaurs? It's weird.
Yeah, a book about dinosaurs to little kids. Well, of course there is. I mean, what a ridiculous thing. I mean, what better way to talk to kids about something than having dinosaurs on the book? And the question hurts my head. Why do they use dinosaurs? Why not? I mean,
dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah, that's like, about it, right?
They're so interesting. Like, yeah, like
he's like the scientists. Oh, they're using dinosaurs. How dare them? What's wrong with you? Hey, demon, good to see you. Of course, if I had dinosaurs to use for an ad campaign. Yeah, like I'm not going to use dinosaurs. It's really lame. They're really uptight about these dinosaurs. Like, you know, how dare them, you know, promote dinosaurs to kids? You know, it's stupid. It's I don't know. What else do you call it? Brainless. You're a man of few words. Are we stuck at stupid? Is that where the evening's beginning?
For the moment, yes.
So,
as the evening progresses, well, the night for me, like there might be other words that will boil to the surface because I've got a feeling that this is going to get under my skin again. And just to say with the theme of the show, of the video.
Yeah. Objective says the Flintstones. Yeah, I mean, it's a cartoon about dinosaurs, and there's, don't forget dinosaurs with Ramona. My oral hygienist name is Ramona. So the way I remember her name was from Dinosaurs, where he says, and my assistant, Ramona. And that is the dentist, the lady that cleans my teeth. So kind of fun little story. And I won't I won't take the hit for remembering her name that way either, because however you remember somebody's name is how you remember somebody's name. And I remember her as Ramona. Hello, Sydney. Good to see you.
Honestly, if I were to offer £1,000 in the press, I think my money would be very safe. Books about, books designed to teach children to read at the age of 3 or 4 or 5 about dinosaurs. And if you open it up, on the first page, the opening words, the 4 first words in the entire book are going to be what? Millions of years ago. That's how it always begins.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Why is that?
I wonder if he's done a survey of children's books involving dinosaurs. And I'll bet a lot of them start with a long, long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonder why.
Millions.
Probably because it was a long, long time ago.
I wonder why they say that. Why do all of them say the same thing?
And what is
some kind of conspiracy?
Yeah, I've never understood. I mean, what is the big deal with it being a long time? It's God, right? God can do things in any time God wants. Why they have such a cow about it being more than thousands of years ago is just it's more silliness. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to have even in the Bible it says things that are a day is like 1,000 years and different things, or where time is out of whack for God. God doesn't use time like we use it or anything else. So I don't see where it ever made any difference, and why people like Ham and everything make such a cow about it. It doesn't seem to be one of those things that's important in the Bible, right?
Oh, well now, Dave. I mean, I'm just saying, Dave, I can see you haven't looked into it in a very shallow level. And if you had looked into it at a very shallow level, I think you'd find that Noah was a human being.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's really, that's what I think a lot of evolutionists don't understand. Noah was a human being, and his wife was descended from a rib, and I think that says everything you need to know about the intellectual standard by which Biblists, really expect their education level to be at. And of course, I think if you accept Noah was a human being, I mean, you're probably an evolutionist, and you don't. You probably think that he's a monkey or something. But if you were to accept that Noah was a human being, I think you'd find that he had a boat, which had every single animal on it. So just to say that, I think that proves the point that dinosaurs must have been on the boat. And by a boat, I'm talking, of course, about like a type of, I don't know, one would call it a zoo boat, maybe. Some type of zoo boat.
But maybe even a magic
almost magic
zoo boat?
Yeah, almost magic. Almost
well,
magic.
I don't like to use the magic word because that's demonic. But I would say miraculous instead.
Oh, and speaking of, shout out to Provo. Provo was checking out my channel the other night, and he wasn't well, you know, he's got an interesting sense of humor. So he was talking about the Magic Zoo boat and how I have a problem with the Magic Zoo boat, and but he was talking about me on his channel. So hey Provo, thanks for the shout out. And you know, we don't agree on things, but I like checking out Provo every once in a while. It's a good listen there for a little while.
No idea.
He's like a Mormon believer or something. It's
Okay.
kind of an odd thing. He's like a hipster, but then, you know, he's about Jesus too, and so, you know, he's kind of unique, you know. But I like crossing those bridges when I come to them to hear what they have to say. You know, I might not stay there very long, but I like going over there to see what they have to say. So yeah, shout out to Provo. Hope you had he had a disappointing time at the zoo. They you know, the zoos, I don't know, do we hold them in some kind of, you know, light or something where they never really were all that, and they aren't still all that, and it's rather sad seeing these animals in cages. And yeah,
it depends on the zoo. I mean, last time I went to the zoo, I got to feeling really bad and guilty about the poor primates because they seemed so bored and listless. And I don't know if it was the, you know, it's kind of warm in Texas, if the heat of the day just had them kind of listless, or if even though they have kind of it's not very large, but it's an open area with places to climb, you know, little rope ladders and things like that. But they just seemed very listless, almost like, you know, they were bored half to death. And that started to make me feel really bad. And then, of course, you know, you had the giraffe enclosure where they make it to where, you know, the giraffes can come right up to the people, and you can actually feed them leaves and everything. But there's just not a whole lot of space for giraffes. And I imagine giraffes really are kind of wired for wide open spaces, not enclosed, though open spaces. So yeah, zoos. It's almost like we should get rid of them, and I don't know, maybe have a VR experience of animals or something.
Like I think it's quite double, because like it is a good way to show kids what kind of animals are there, because like in VR you would never get the same experience as just seeing a couple of monkeys monkeying about. And like zoos have come a long way in making sure that the animals are well taken care of, but still, it's still animals in cages. I know, but like I do also see the educational value of it.
Fair enough. I think maybe sometimes I think really that we should get like a group of people, well, just like go to a nightclub, round up all the people and put them in a cage. Yeah. And then just watch them. For
educational reasons.
Purely educational reasons. Yeah.
Like looks like Intrepid Chip did a walk today for the local cancer charity. Good for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now he said, if you to the Golden Gate Bridge and back with Trust but Verify. Is that a group? Is that like a skeptic group?
Yep, must be. But if you let the kids smoke a couple joints before they do the VR, they won't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you give them some guns, they'll have some fun while they're at it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, give them guns. Let them have at it.
Clear the way.
And that's how these ideas are delivered. Now, in fact, dinosaurs are not a thing.
There we go. And there we go.
What?
We're descending quickly, folks. We're descending quickly.
Well, you know,
dinosaurs aren't actually a thing.
I could split hairs and say, yeah, dinosaurs aren't a thing anymore. Yeah, maybe for the birds.
Except for a few birds, yeah.
They're not a thing. Yeah.
Up from the birds, yeah.
Oh,
So
I was
he's-
feeding the turkeys this morning, and those damn things look like velociraptors. They are
How come I
so
feel like one
dinosaur-like.
too?
Yeah,
I've never been attacked by a bird like I've been attacked by a turkey. I couldn't believe those.
Yeah.
Those things are just mean.
Turkeys,
They're
turkeys
mean.
will menace a place. They will menace a neighborhood if they
Yeah,
get it in their noggin to do so.
Yep.
that's why they're so good as a butterball. Remember that, buddy.
Butterball
Yeah.
turkey.
If I were being deliberately trying to stir controversy, if I were deliberately argumentative and controversial, if I were using the Peter Hitchens style of arguing, I would say dinosaurs don't exist. And that
What?
Peter Hitchens' style would be the dinosaurs don't exist.
I'm
Oh,
just
he
going to
is?
point out this guy has an English accent, and therefore it must be incredibly intelligent.
He is.
So-
You can tell.
I've just got to say that. So when he says Peter Hitchens, I mean, you're talking top tier. Fucking,
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
mean, right up there. You're talking right up there. I mean, he may as well be Jesus.
Yeah.
I just say that for a reason.
I'll go along with that.
would be true in the sense that it's not one thing. It's lots of different kinds of animals. Don't think we slap a label on all of them and call them dinosaurs.
Oh, crazy! Oh, crazy! I mean, it's
Did
like
he-
you could
what?
slap. It's like you
Oh.
could look at this planet and go life, and just slap a label on everything. I mean, that's crazy talk.
He's just discounted the entire classification system. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
you could just like slap a label on it and go, "Oh, Christians, they don't exist."
Hi, Hill Hugger. Good morning from the future. Hill Hugger's over the ocean. So Sydney. Hey, Sydney. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. We have a lot of Australians here. Fred Harvey's
Slap a
from the
label on
Australia.
them, why
We've
don't
got
you, Dave?
we've got a bunch of Australians in the chat. Good to see
yeah,
y'all.
just slap a
Yeah.
label on them like they
Yeah,
exist.
how dare they?
Yeah, like, Australians don't exist.
Yeah.
How dare you give them a label?
They'll
Oh,
fell
we
off the
got
earth
we
a
got
long
Simos
time
and Brainless are overseas. We got everybody's overseas. Everybody's leaving us behind. You've all done left us behind. We've been left behind, folks. Scott,
Hey,
ago.
Mike,
There's a reason
we've been
for that.
left behind.
you're the guys that left.
There's a reason for that.
We're a desert wasteland.
Yeah, we did it to ourselves.
It's because God is British, of course. That's the reason. English, even.
I always felt like God was British because I watched so much Monty Python's Flying Circus on PBS that all those little images of God.
Yeah.
With the arrogant belief that we know for a fact that they don't still exist today.
Ah, cripe. See, he's back to Hovind. Well, of
Yeah.
course they still exist today. You just have to go to the Congo or to deep in the Mexican jungles or
Of course, we
these
killed all
other
the
places
pterodactyls
where
in
they're
the war.
yeah.
Or a
Yeah.
poultry farm.
Oh,
Well, Matt-
KFC.
Matt
Yeah.
Powell with his Civil War soldiers took the rest of them out, and
No. The Australian, it was the Australians, right? That lost a war with
Pterodactyls?
dinosaurs, with
pterodactyls.
emus. Yeah, with emu.
And rabbits, they can't.
Try
I tell you
telling
what,
Colonel
Australians,
No, but like-
do not send them in to fight against nature. That's just one thing.
But
Nature.
look, people who have not heard it before, the emu story, the war against the emu, like those fuckers apparently are quite intelligent, and like they could not exterminate them, and like that's actually quite funny that like
Hmm.
if you get the army involved, like you can't exterminate an animal, and then try telling everybody that humans are the superior species. We most definitely aren't. If we were, there would not have been any more rats and mice because we would have exterminated them.
Hey, Jasper, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, Jeff.
Of course, we don't know. There are books that say no human being has ever seen a living dinosaur. Again, how can you be certain?
No human being has seen a living dinosaur. A non-avian dinosaur. Let's be specific. No, there have been any dinosaurs around for 65 million years. I mean, that's a big gap. Yes, yeah. Birds, different classifications at how the birds are related and everything. And birds are technically a dinosaur and everything else. But when we speak about dinosaurs, they're not talking about these birds. They're talking about, or raptors or any of those kind of things. They're talking about dinosaurs. What everybody thinks of as a dinosaur hasn't walked this earth in a long time. And I think we all agree on that. We agree with the scientists on that. Now, does that mean that somewhere, some distant jungle somewhere, there might be something alive somewhere? Well, who knows, right? But it doesn't matter. For all intents and purposes, they are extinct. They're gone.
Is there not a lot of evidence to the contrary? And the answer is there is.
No, there isn't, buddy.
Oh.
But I'm anxious. This is the part that I enjoy listening to. I've done a whole video on this, so my kind of thing. But no.
Real quick question: is this guy the way he looks is almost like he's trying to look like the consummate British professorial type?
Yep.
But
does he have like a brain club?
Deliver eggs to supermarkets for a living?
Yeah.
Really, what is this guy really in education?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's education. I think it's their boys' club is what it is.
Education is a bit of a wide topic. He teaches kids, and he's Catholic, so.
Yeah, and in this, either this one or the other one I watched, he's having a beer. I mean, it's a pretty casual thing, It's
kids are allowed around beer in this country.
I mean it more as a social thing. It's not. It doesn't seem like they're taking a whole lot of this seriously. It's more of a social thing, and the talk and everything. He tries to make it serious, but he's citing Hawaiian shirt guy. I don't know how serious I'm supposed to take it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, Latin. Right? He's a Latin scholar because, he mispronounces some Latin words later on. So that's got to be something. Yeah, that's got to be something. I don't know who he is. Can we find out who he is, Dave? Do a background check on this guy.
Yeah, I did do a little looking around.
I'm suggesting maybe maybe we should check the register first.
Okay. They do have a talk where they have their little outfits on, so maybe that'll lead some if I look at that video.
What is his name again?
No, I'm going to try and find out though. Don't you worry about that.
I think. Didn't you have it from last week when you looked it up, Scott?
Different guy, isn't it?
No, same guy.
Yeah, I don't remember the name from last week.
Yeah, we only saw his feet last week.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And like the thing that I don't get that he even gets views because if you're interested in
100
this,
views.
And you want to listen to what he's saying, I'm sorry, but if I would have been interested in this and I would want to listen to this, I would not watch this video because the crackling is louder than his voice. He's hard.
I know.
You can hardly hear him. You can hardly hear him.
I was going to filter it out for y'all.
This is not stuff that you put out if you want to look at least somewhat professional.
That's why I said part of Saturday Night the Atheist is giving people tips, right? And one tip is don't post something unless you listen to it because this is a terrible recording. And you shouldn't have posted it. You should have redone it.
Yeah. If I were running that church, I would have had him taken out and shot. summarily executed.
Um,
But you're out of here, dude.
let me see if I got. It's in the pull-ups here. Watch later playlists. Yeah, see, I pulled it in that one. Darn it! I have to go looking for it. But yeah, it only had like, I think it's only like 100 views. Let me check this list over here. So I mean, you hurt yourself when you don't make a video. Like I said, as professional as you can. And in no way am I calling myself a professional. I don't think anybody here is. You know, folks nerdy and stuff maybe do a good job, but most of us are winging it, you know.
Did you notice where this is set? The setting for this video? It's a bar. It's a bar.
Yeah, it's a bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a lot of pubs in this country have rooms which they have bars in to hire out. And I'm assuming that's the situation. It's like part of a pub, and they've just hired the room.
Yeah, because I've got the video right here, part 4.
He's got a glass of beer there, and there's a bottle of something. I don't know.
There's a bar. No. There's ashes in the grill. The grill or the fireplace actually works. There's some ashes here, and but it's got in 2 years 111 views. Yeah. Not doing very good. And I can imagine why he's not reaching a lot of people. He's not trying very hard. He's got potential. I mean, there's 300 subscribers. There's 12,000 views. There's some potential, but seems to be they don't care that much about it for it being a gentleman's club. You think they would care more about their channel, but they don't seem to, really. So. Let's say, when is Captive Desk going to go belly up so we can say good riddance, like he said about Vody dying? I did say that about Vody dying. You know what? I've made a video before about Vody. I think Vody's an awful person. I think he says awful things. And, you know, it's a shame he had a heart problem. I mean, too bad he didn't get fixed up. Sounded like he was supposed to get fixed, and somehow brought him down at the last minute, brought his heart weak, and he didn't make it through. I do not find Vody a good person at all. Vody is gone, and I think the world is a better place without people like Vody. Now, it doesn't mean
miss him.
Death is not sad. Death of her loved ones is not sad. All that. Sure it is. But come on, man. Find something that he said that was nice. I defy you to find something he said that was nice. And
so somebody already timed him out.
Could be, but Smokey, I'm not a bad person. If somebody did something nice for somebody, they died. I feel sorry for them. This person though actively harmed people, harmed LGBTQ folks. Actively harmed, and not just that. Women, children. This guy's right out of the 1st century. I mean, nobody wants a 1st century ruler over them, and that's what Vody was, and he was terrible.
He's on my channel.
Oh, he's on your channel?
Yeah.
But Smokey, somebody else made some comments to it, and I take it to heart when somebody says something to me. I read their comments and I say, you got a point, but I don't like the guy. So for my stance, he went before me, and that's a good thing. So I got to see him gone, and I got to see Ken Ham. I thought he was going to burst into tears. Usually he's very rejoiceful of, the old, the Lord's taking him home. The Lord has better purposes, that kind of thing that you hear at a funeral. Ken looked like he was going to burst into tears. Like he was actually upset that God took Vody away from him.
Yeah, he must have been a friend of his. So,
he had him booked. He had him booked for next year, so it's totally screwing up his scheduling.
Or
that was the whole point, I think.
Or at Ken's more advanced age now, he's just a bit more weepy and emotional.
He was He was
Bodie
near
was
emotion.
56, wasn't he? Pretty young.
Yeah, it's a lot younger
yeah.
than me.
Yeah.
Well, he was very large, and I think he took a toll on his heart.
Yeah, he had like a heart bypass or something. I think the year before. I don't know, something like that. I think that was him. But,
so out of the blue, Vody was gone, and I made a comment on it. Apparently, he saw the comment. I said, good riddance or something like that, and I meant it sincerely. If it's my karma and I have to carry it, I think I'm legit in saying that he was not a good person. So
yeah,
whether he died or not doesn't change the fact that he wasn't a good person, and he never tried to be a good person while he was alive. So if he's trying to work on being a good person now that he's gone, I think it's a little too late. Even the Christians say so. They're supposed to work on these things while you're alive, Now, Vody can have whatever convictions he wants. He can have whatever religion he wants. But if you're going to say things about people and you want sympathy when you die, you don't get it from me. So.
Well, we're all going to die. And when I hear that somebody died, I often find myself feeling one way or another about it. It's like, oh, that was a loss, or oh, that was no loss. I'm okay with him dying. So
just remember, it tolls for thee, or some such quote.
Yeah, whatever.
And there's been people in the community too that disagree with me, and it's fine. Don't. There's the old thing: don't disrespect the dead, and there's a lot of sayings people have. A lot of ways people don't talk ill about the dead and things like that. It's a personal thing, how you want to express yourself is, if you want to shut up and not say anything because somebody died, having respect for the dead or whatever, that's fine. Whatever. But, again, this is the United States of America, the country that I live in, under the Constitution here, that says, I can tell you're a piece of crap. So deal with it, okay?
And people have told you you're a piece of crap, Dave. I know. So you dished it out, and you're taking it.
People have said to me, Dave, you shouldn't say things. Dave, you just had your own health scare. Everything else, and it's like they're right. Doesn't change anything though. Doesn't change anything.
Of course,
I fully
doesn't make him a better person.
Speak ill of the dead is the fact that the people in that person's life who might have actually loved them and cared for them are still alive, and that might hurt their feelings. And why unnecessarily hurt somebody's feelings in such a personal and intimate situation? But then again, if the people that are in the person's lives are also pieces of crap, then what does it matter? And I'm not saying that was true about whatever his name is, Vody, whatever his name is. But, also by their fruit you shall know them. Why resent us for pointing out the fruit the person bore? It's not Christians alone who get to say what kind of fruit people bear.
If you want a big, huge eulogy, have somebody do something that somebody wants to write one for, have so many things you did in your life that the eulogy is 4 hours long or something, because that's how long it takes to get through a list of all the life accomplishments you had. If you want your life summed up in a fantastic eulogy, it's possible to do so, but don't expect somebody to write a 4-hour eulogy about a piece of crap. Right? I mean, if you really are all that in a bag of chips, like this person that's thoroughly enjoying this bag of chips, write about it, do a autobiography, somebody else write a biography, whatever the biography is, these things are done. But you have to have actually done something, or you're going to come across as one of these really sorry cases that makes up things about themselves. But if you've had that full of life, write about it. I'd love to hear about it.
Contrast him with Jane Goodall.
Yeah.
And see what you come
What
up
did you
with.
do? Right.
Yeah. What did you do?
Speaking of all, if you hadn't heard, we lost Jane this week. The chimp lady. She worked with chimps for many years. She was in her 90s. She lived a full life.
She did a million public appearances for kids.
That's what she was doing when she passed away. She was on the road giving talks to people. So she died what she loved doing, and she had a great life. And some controversies aside, but a lot of things in nature, as we were just talking, we have moved a great distance in how we handle nature and stuff. So good for them for doing that.
My friend's kid, Cyrus, was one of those children that she met, and he was so thrilled with her. He was just, I mean, it followed him around for years, that experience. So, and that's a good person. So, anyway.
They went extinct 65 million years ago. Did they really?
Want some chips?
Did they really? So why aren't they mentioned in the Bible? The answer is
he arguing, do they really know? Do they really know? Is that what he's saying? The dinosaurs disappeared 65 million years ago. Do they really know? Do they, or the dinosaurs existed millions of years ago? Do they really know?
Well, you know, scientists are kind of shady.
Thought there, Mr. Dude. Why not? I could say that about anything. Like you can say, well, you know, the Cowboys lost this week. Do you really know? Do you really know? You're really fun at parties.
I really know that Ryan Kaltasic is dropping by to say howdy to us. Hello, Ryan.
Oh,
Good
Ryan.
evening. And we've got Skeptic Philosophy too. Man,
we got our own crackler.
We got cracklers everywhere.
Looks like chip addiction is breaking out everywhere.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with the retaining water. They said don't have things with extra salt and stuff. And I mean, you mean like chips, right?
Yeah. Doctor told me that once. Told him to go fuck himself.
Well, it wouldn't be so bad, except retaining water it's annoying when you get the fat feet and stuff. It's just annoying that, and you feel kind of stiff. You don't have the. It's kind of like cramps type thing. I wish it would go away. Hopefully next week when they adjust my pills, they totally screw with you.
Were there dinosaurs on board the Ark? Yes, there were. We saw earlier on.
Well, of course there was dinosaurs on the Ark. Haven't you seen my video? Gosh.
Yeah. Okay. Did it say in the Bible that there were dinosaurs on the Ark somewhere in the Genesis?
Yeah, he's read the Bible as good as the rest of them have. And if you, to its word, and to its credit, or whatever you want to, if you actually do some Bible study, you will find that they did not have dinosaurs on that ark. They're not talking about dinosaurs. The dragon is not even talking about a type of a beast. It's talking about a mostly barren landscape is what dragon means. It's a place, it's a no man's land. Okay, it's not even a beast. So
yeah, and behemoth has another meaning too.
Yeah, it's barren beast, only controlled by God type things, and it's a whole totally different story that has absolutely nothing to do with this giant animal that's really supposed to be a dragon or that leads into a dinosaur, and they've got this whole story built around it that doesn't even come from the Bible. And the thing is, Ken likes to cite back to the the Strongs or the definitions for the Bible thing.
The Strong's Concordance of the Bible, which has
that's the one.
Has little numbers that go to a just kind of a bare bones definition of Greek words that is outdated. There's been a lot of linguistic and philological updates to our understanding of the Greek language, and Strong's it's a 19th century book that's just been kind of held over and used over and over and over since it's basically it's copyright, it's public domain, and so these publishing houses can use it. So that's why it's cheap. It's cheap to use, and you don't have to have much of an education to look up an index number.
That explains why Ken Ham loves it so much. But the irony of it is, it disagrees with Ken Ham. So his cheap butt will use it because, like you said, it's copyright free. So he just loves using it. But it also disagrees with his position on the dinosaurs being on the ark. You can't make this up, folks. You cannot make this up. Going cheap is hurting Ken Ham about the dinosaurs on the ark.
Here's the thing about these could I call them idiots? Biblical idiots. They talk about the behemoth and the dragon, right, in the Bible. Okay, but if you look at all the other texts that we have dug up from ancient times, they talk about lions and birds and beavers and all that stuff. Not once do they mention, oh, the brontosaurus, and oh, then there was the tyrannosaurus. They don't ever mention those guys. And you would think if there was a fucking animal that big, that somebody would have wrote something about it. I mean, can you imagine if you were trying to grow a garden and we had brontosaurus around? I mean, people would have been writing about that stuff. Brontosaurus ate my damn willow tree again. Son of a bitch.
Woke up this morning, he's out there rooting around. You know?
Rooting around, yeah. There's a Tyrannosaurus Rex chasing my dog.
Yeah, when you go out camping, you have to be really careful about bears getting your food. Think about a T-Rex or an Allosaurus or something like that.
Putting it in a bag on a rope up in a tree does you absolutely no good, does it?
Yeah, he's just going to swap the whole tree along with your food.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they had really, really sensitive, nasal nerves or whatever they call it, the smelling part of their. Yeah, they could probably smell better than a bear. And so nothing's safe with those things around. You'd certainly have people seeing them and taking pictures and reporting them.
Right. There's a reason why we believe the things we believe. Like I believe in France, and I've never been there, never seen France, but I believe in it because of all the references to it, right? And it didn't just kind of like passingly mention, oh, that country where they speak funny in the Bible. I mean, that isn't where I got my belief. It's just ridiculous that they keep focusing on these couple of biblical perverses and they're trying to fucking make dinosaurs a thing. These guys they got their heads up their asses so far. That's amazing that you can hear the chips crackle.
Yeah, you'd think they would find something else to do, but they just got to dig into this. There has to be something behind the Hoven Mysteria or something, It's just give it a rest. Or there's nothing there. There's nothing. Everything in this video, I've pulled up from Woo sites. It's he has nothing legitimate at all in this entire video. It's all Woo.
It's land animals that breathe air. So yes, that would include dinosaurs.
Land animals that breathe air. That's quite a definition you got there.
Baby ones, obviously, to quote the one and only Kent Hovind yet again.
The one and only Kent Hovind yet again. Ooh, come on, dude. This is your hero.
Oh my God, the scholar of all time. The guy that's turned evolution on its nose.
You need a better hero. You need a better hero. I mean, really badly.
You'd think that people across the pond would look at Hovind and say, I mean, they don't think a lot of us Americans to begin with, but some of those, like from the state that Hovind's from, I don't know. Anyway, you think they'd know better. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what the fascination is. I really don't. The way ministers and stuff talk about him, that he's such a genius and he has all the scientists on the ropes and the government on the ropes. And he's just, he's got a black book of everybody's, name on a list or something, and they're all really afraid of him. Or it's just amazing, this cult of personality they built up around him. And he doesn't have any. He doesn't. The things you hear about that young boy that had the tragic accident, and he says, other than that, the family had a good time. He just doesn't see people as people. He sees them as a number or something. They're not human beings. It's really, he has something going on in his mind is very odd.
Well, it kind of reminds me of when they asked about Trump about Charlie Kirk and his death and how he's doing, and he said, "Oh, okay. Look, we've been starting construction today." It's the same kind of phenomenon when a narcissist is asked about their feelings, they're going to say something that's a bit socially inappropriate.
Mm. Well, speaking of, let's see if they can find something else to say that's socially inappropriate.
Well, before you do, I found his name.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of a background check, but there isn't much to say. He's not thought of highly in the Catholic Church sphere, so I don't think they're real Catholics.
Okay.
And yeah, basically, there's no educational history that can be.
Could they be an Anglican group?
No, because they said Catholic at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So they're not Anglican either. So I don't know. They're some weird offshoot of Catholics.
Really, they really likes chips.
They're like Catholics, except they're British. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, just to say there's not much.
We got to track down the name of the chips.
They're based on some kind of
done that
saint.
already.
They're based on some kind of Saint Neria or something like that. Or
Yeah,
I don't know
Saint
what that
Philip.
is.
Yeah.
And Dave, they're not
Yeah.
eating chips. They're British, so they're eating crisps.
Crisps.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Chris Walker's
Crisps.
cheese, salt and vinegar chips. Those ones.
there's something wrong with you, British.
I'm thinking about going to the highway to get me a bag of chips.
Damn right there is.
Don't tell my doctor.
Well, there's a lot of wrong with the British, but luckily they all went overseas.
There.
Yeah,
Where they
that's a
belong.
good thing. Good thing they left. Don't want them in
Says
America.
just make sure that you get the pink one and the blue one. That you get 2 babies and you're good.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
Weren't they already extinct by then anyway? No. Okay, on we go. So the word dinosaur was invented by Richard Owen. He's an alumnus of Lancaster Grammar.
I'm sure glad that guy invented the word dinosaur. Ken Ham wouldn't know what to do with himself.
That's right.
I mean,
Right.
Hey,
it wasn't invented until now. Wait a minute. I have a problem with this. Why does he pass off the invention of God on the beast that cannot be tamed by man? Supposedly the behemoth of God, this beast, and he seems to dismiss it and not hold it in high esteem. So it's really.
And if dinosaurs were everywhere and they were so big, why did they wait until the 19th century to invent the word?
Yeah.
To cover that group?
And I thought Adam named all that. Didn't Adam name all the animals in the garden? So
yeah,
he was mad at the dinosaurs for some reason. See, it don't add up, Ken. It doesn't add up. I'm listening to you.
Here's
eating his tomatoes.
Theory. Here's a quick conspiracy theory. Maybe we're hearing the chips, or excuse me, the crisps bag rattle so much because there's a guy in the audience that doesn't like the speaker. And annoy him and maybe keep him from spreading misinformation. What do you think?
Ryan says Adam first did nasty things to the animals, then he named them.
Oh,
well, sometimes in the middle of it, you call out dirty names.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Wasn't the whole point of God having Adam parading the animals in front of Adam for Adam to find a mate? And so, what did he do with each of those animals to decide whether it was worthy of a mate?
Yeah.
If it moved or not, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe he, had biblical relationships with those animals. I don't know.
Well, you know what they say. If I was going to have a fantasy arrangement with somebody, it would be with Jessica Rabbit, and I shouldn't have to explain why.
No need to say more.
No need to say more.
Okay, so don't know where he gets his information from, but it's not right. Needless to say, 1842, Richard Owen came up with the term dinosauria. IA.
Since we're talking about 19th century developments, I did a little sneak peek in that Strong's Concordance that we were talking about. It was invented in 1890, or it was published in 1890. So it's that outmoded. I think there's been so many discoveries of manuscripts and so much scholarly work done on all, the Greek language and the Hebrew language that it's just an archaic resource to be using.
I know Ken Ham uses it a lot, so that fits. So cheap and archaic, that's right up his alley. Yeah.
You could probably pick up an old Strong's Concordance just by kind of going to some old church somewhere and just lifting it out of their church library. Nobody would miss it because it's probably covered with dust anyway.
I had one of those books the other day. I was cleaning off the bookshelf, and one of the books fell over in the back there, and it was really sad. It had cobwebs on it and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, you poor book." I had to clean it off and feel better about myself. Poor book.
Was it the Bible?
No, it wasn't even the Bible. It was like a regular book. I was like, "Oh, gee whiz, I can't have that." Should put the Bible up there.
He invented the word in 1841 from the Homeric Greek Deinos, meaning fearfully great. Deinosauros, a fearfully great lizard.
Oh, because it's Greek now, it's got a fancy name about lizards, and so it's special. What difference does it make a different language?
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean that either. It means terrible lizard.
Yeah. So I guess they're trying to hold on to something. Well, the Greeks, they named it a terrible lizard, so it must have been a real thing. It was a terrible lizard. No, and they could have named it any words that they wanted to.
It's not that scientists usually name things internationally in Latin or Greek so that it is international and not biased to one particular country or language. They don't do that.
Big, what's Ed's got? Nobody uses Strong's for accuracy anymore. Other sites and programs are better for that stuff now. Collects dust in most libraries. Yeah, other than Ken Ham. So, and brings me great joy that Ken's blowing the dust off of something to use to get his information. Because I noticed that when he puts it in his description, that he hides the Strong way down at the bottom. And I was like, why is he doing that? And it's because he's embarrassed to use it. I was like, that's funny. That's funny. But he'll use it anyways because it's cheap, and he's cheap. So he'll keep using it probably till the day they carry him off because it's cheap. And that's often the joke I told about my mom. My mom would have a bunch of stuff in the cupboard, when we were kids. And she goes, "Why don't you eat this stuff up? I bought it from the store." I said, "Well, we don't like it." And she goes, "Yeah, but I got 5 of them because they had a coupon." So now we got to eat 5 terrible things because she had a coupon and she bought 5 of them. Thanks, Mom. I miss you.
It's a bit of a pretentious word if you think about it, and it was invented in 1841.
Why? It's not pretentious at all. I mean,
well, it is to him.
If you pronounce it in a British accent, it's kind of pretentious, but
no, that's French.
But that's everything.
That's French.
French is pretentious. Moi is a pretentious word. But anyway, no, look, dinosaurs. That's just following, or dinosauria is. It's just following the convention of naming that had been used up until that point, because most of the people that had done work in that area used Latin. So people carried on using Latin for anything to do with biology, basically. That's how that worked.
And Rochelle's reminding people there is a dual stream going on over at Mike's channel. Give Mike some love, too. Mike has a great channel. And Mike is a great part of Saturday Night at the Atheist. So make sure you share some love.
You want to do your chat over here so we can be a community.
All right.
I threw Smokey out of my channel. That's where he got in.
Hmm.
If you do a remove, what happens? They remove him forever?
Probably.
I don't know. I just most of the time I don't do anything with those things. You know, I usually say my piece and they move on. The few people that have been blocked were just jerks posting some nasty stuff. Most time people, you know, if you don't engage with them, they just go away. So, you know.
I thought that was a nasty comment today.
Yeah.
You don't do that shit.
It's like with my health. I've gotten some comments from people. I was like, hey, you know, some people reached out that I didn't think really liked me all that well. Said some, you know, get better, Dave. Hope you feel better, Dave. You know, stuff like that. You got this, Dave. Hey, I appreciate it, you know. And then some of them came back and they had to follow up and make some comments. And it's like, you know, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt that your true colors were showing that even though you can be a jerk, that really, you know, hey, somebody's not feeling good, you know, you should wish them well, you know. And then they come back with, well, what if you die and you meet Jesus and you got this and that and this? I ain't dead. So I don't know why you throw all these questions at me. Just knock it off, okay? They just feast on this. There's something wrong with an atheist, right? And I got news for you. There's going to be something wrong with all of us. So it doesn't matter that I'm an atheist. You're not singling me out in any way. I'm no different than anybody else. And
there's no hate like Christian love.
You know, there it is. I mean, now there have been genuinely some people that have been nice to me, and I appreciate it. I don't want to discount that. But these other folks, it does seem they're taking glee over somebody being ill or something. It's, you know, now again, they're going to throw at me, well, you took glee in Vody dropping over, right? Yeah. So somebody wants to take glee in me dropping over. Well, when the time comes, you can post something and say, haha, Dave dropped over.
And you're not going to give it, and Dave's not going to give a shit.
I'm not going to give a shit because I ain't going to see it. So who has the last laugh, right? So yeah, let's knock it off. Okay. Trusty Ape, how you doing? Speaking of Trusty Ape, tell him to F off for me, Trusty Ape. I know you're good at that. And Sumami, you're good at it too. Tell them to F off too. Everybody will be a lot happier. We'll have a good night.
Find the word anywhere used before 1841 because it didn't exist yet. But you'll find
it in
things
1841
it had to exist. It's not true because God had Adam name all the animals. So you're going against what your own book says, that God named the animals, or he had somebody name the animals.
Yeah, he didn't name it dinosaur, though. He named it dragon or behemoth or leviathan or any of the other unmentioned, like,
well, that's like
creatures.
That accounts for three of them.
Why?
I think there were
a lot of the myths had these names in them because they're myths. Right, go ahead. I don't know.
There were more than three of them, more than leviathans and behemoth and whatever. And those are words that are commonly used throughout mythology to indicate mythical animals, basically, or mythical things like the power of the land over the. I mean, there's a whole history of those words, and it has nothing to do with fucking dinosaurs.
That's what
I wouldn't want to fuck a dinosaur. Damn,
no, you want to fuck a dinosaur. Well, be interesting.
Well, the ones with little arms can't do much.
Well, it's not the arms that I'm scared of. It's more those teeth.
It's on the other end, right?
when you read the description, they correspond more or less to dinosaurs. Okay? On we go. So why aren't dinosaurs mentioned in the Bible?
Now, see, there's a good question. Why aren't they mentioned in the Bible? Why aren't the main beings created by God? Because God somehow seems like the dinosaur to be, the epitome of his creation, right? They're not the epitome. What is it? The top of his creation. He seems to see but Behemoth as the top of his creation, the biggest, most powerfulest of his creation, and yet there's a little mention of it, in Job there, and that's about it. It seems to be such a prideful moment creating Behemoth, but then it seems to just go away like so many other things in the Bible. Not really that important.
You know what? Strangely, what is never mentioned in the Bible is pyramids.
Yeah.
That's huge buildings, huge pyramids dedicated to pharaohs and kings. Somehow they never ever found a way to mention it, which is odd.
Hey, and you know what's also never mentioned in the Bible? Oh, this is gonna piss off some people, but America.
Yeah.
The pyramid one. The pyramid one is quite interesting because there is archaeological evidence that there was a group of people that were working on designing and building the pyramids, which were from Palestine or the Canaan area. The whole group of them doing it, and they've excavated a particular village, which was built specifically for them, and they found records of how much food and beer they were paid, and some of the work that they were paid to do. And they were quite an elite group, apparently, of workers because they were very skilled stone masons and accountants, etc., etc. And you would have thought that would be a thing of pride for those particular people that were doing it, because clearly they were treated very well. They weren't treated as slaves. Kind of weird. Kind of weird.
It seems Smokey's following me around. He posted.
That's because you keep mentioning him.
Yeah, he said something about me. Again, when am I going belly up? Nobody knows when I'm going belly up. When's Captive Desk gonna go belly up so we can say good riddance? Like he said when Fody died.
I feel the same way about Smokey. When's he going back to prison?
Yeah.
And like, you know what he could also do? He could just hit that little X on the top to close the tab, and then he will not see Captive Desk anymore. And then he can say,
"Be like you were gone."
Yeah.
It seems that he's really worried about my soul or something.
Like if you don't want to see Dave, then just fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, he hashtagged me in it or whatever. I'm named in it and everything. So yeah, it meant enough to But with some of his history and things he's said and everything, not a good faith actor or anything, but apparently he has nothing better to do this evening than talk about me. So okay, whatever.
That's sad. Well, then again, we've got nothing better to do than talk about the losers in this
that's
video.
True. I ain't saying nothing. I'm watching a video with 200 views, so in 2 years. Okay. Speaking of the video, we'll get back to the video. Get my arrow. Hold on.
Because the word dinosaur didn't exist yet, on we go. What were they maybe called instead? Well, we have this thing called a dragon. Oh, but everybody knows dragons are mythical creatures.
Yeah, see, there's your problem. And Ken Ham brings this up often. So is people. And yes, the dragon is mythological. And when they bring up why is it the only one on the Chinese calendar that isn't a real animal, it's because it's mythological. It fits in with the mythological understanding of it. It's like that one is mythological. And he's going to bring up other things about Marco Polo and everybody else talking about dragons. And they all talk about them in a mythological theme or whatever you want to call it, as well as ones that are from other countries that they're going to mention too. These things are all different, okay? You have animals that are chimeras and all different things, different parts of animals glued together, stitched together parts of birds, lions, tigers, leopards, the fiercest, and especially with the tooth and claw animals, and the ones that had wings, made them even more powerful, turned them into griffins and all these kind of things. There's a long list of this stuff, and if you actually look them up and not just repeat what talking points are or whatever, if you actually look up any of these animals, you will see they are incapable of being a real animal, okay? The knees all bend a different way, because they are parts of different animals taken and put together for a reason, to show reasons like tooth and claw, the power of that. And then what if it had wings? It would be even more powerful, wouldn't it? Of course. But these things are not real animals, and you know that, sir, including about a dozen of them that are listed in the Bible. They're not real animals. They are listed for teaching a moral lesson, whatever the reason is for and being in the Bible. It is not that it's supposed to be a literal animal. It's supposed to be a metaphorical animal. It's so evil or so jealous or so sad or whatever. And it's to personify that meaning of that word, I guess, of that animal, of what it embodies and everything, being that animal. But it has absolutely nothing to do with being that animal at the same time. And I guess that's the best way to say it.
I love the fact that they're using, and they do this a lot, by the way, just these type of apologists, they do use this a lot. So they're quoting from like Richard Owen, who himself was a Christian, of course. Didn't believe in Darwin's evolution, his own theory, which was God designed. And they're using him to say, look, he came up with the word dinosaur, and it is in the Bible because that's a dragon. That's what he was meant by that. And of course, it's just to point out that the person that they've got all this from, Richard Owens, of course, never believed in young Earth. He wasn't a young Earth creationist. He was a creationist, but he wasn't a young Earth creationist. So it's quite interesting when they go on to say that humans and dinosaurs existed together, or dragons existed together. That's not something which Richard Owen, who coined the phrase dinosaur, ever thought. Dinosaurs did not live with humans. There you go.
And speaking of, we got James Frazier. James, why are you obsessed with me with the Kentucky thing and the death thing? And see, this is another one that's kind of weird. I mean, at first it was like, sorry to hear you had, health some issues. And then it's, haha, you got some health issues. It's like, and you've got nothing better to do on a Saturday night than say, haha, you've got some health issues. Hey, nobody knows better than me, man. I've got the marks. You want to, where's that?
Yeah.
Pull that stupid thing. Click my thing bigger. Yeah, I know every time. Oh, wait, the mirror. See, there we go. I know every time I thought I was going to make it through the whole week without getting stuck. Well, you know what? They stuck me and it bruised. And I was like, damn it. And then they did it again. Where is it? Right there. Can you see that one too?
Oh my God. That's a good one.
Right there in your arm, thing. So I got black and blue on both arms, and they were all healed. I was looking all good. Most of my zits cleared up. The bunch of the fat weight was gone. They were clearing me up and everything, and then they stick me with a needle and mess me all up. So I know all too well. What a sucky. I mean, I thought I would get through the week unscathed, and no, Friday night, they said, no, Dave, you're going to have a black and blue arm again just because. Anyway. So, I don't need any help reminding me. The doctor and the nurses, with their stupid needles sticking me all the time, remind me all the time. So, you're wasting your breath, man. I've already said my piece about this. I've been on other channels talking about this. You want to talk to me about it? I'll talk to you about it. Okay. It doesn't change my mind about, Bible stories, though.
Nope.
If I'm going to see God, I'm going to see God. I'm not going to see the Magic Zubo guy. I'm just not. All right? Okay.
For a mythical creature, it certainly pops up in an awful lot of stories, like the flood myth. You end up wondering whether it really is such a myth.
Did he say flood myth? Myth. He said flood myth.
Yep.
The myth.
Well, and mind you, most of these have nothing to do with a flood myth, right? Most of the like knights in shining armor and stuff, there's no floods, right? They take the princess, they have the castle full of gold or whatever the story is, and it has nothing to do with a flood. And yet there is the dragon flying around that they're supposedly, have to deal with and everything. So there's nothing to do with the flood. There are very few of these. Well, the reason there are flood stories that people live, mostly with the people who live near the water, is because of the floods that happen near the water, and because people live near water because they need water. So you have a lot of flood stories. However, the idea that the dragons are only from the flood stories is not true. There are dragon stories that are from flood stories and from stories that are not flood stories. So it doesn't seem to follow true that it has to be a natural disaster, and especially because they are not all the same disasters. And if you're going by the Noah's flood, it is all the same disaster. But this cannot be the same disaster because there are different times in different places of the world.
Because all over the world you have stories about dragons.
Yeah, all over the world through different periods of time, through different areas, through all these things are different. He's leaving out that point.
Yeah, and like they all had those stories, like, and some of them are probably based on them finding a dinosaur skull or bone, and we're like, whoa, this must have been a ginormous animal.
Mm-hmm.
And then thinking like, what could it be? And making something up from one or two bones.
Pictures of dragons
can get really weird things.
And if the word dinosaur wasn't invented till 1841, what maybe would people have called these dinosaurs if they had met one? They probably would have referred to them as dragons, I think.
Well, of course, from your opinion, but I've already pointed out that they would be wrong. They would be ignorant. They would not be using a source properly, because if you source things out in the Bible, and I've done this, I forget the number off the top of my head. It's in my notes somewhere, but I looked up how many times dinosaur was mentioned in the Bible, because it was something that Ken Ham's been harping about for many years. And when you look these things up, you will find that they are often talking about nothing whatsoever to do with a dragon or a monster or a being of any sort whatsoever. It's talking about no man's land, something somebody's very familiar with. And through history, there have been places where people just don't live, usually because they're not nice places to live. Okay, they don't have food, water, and it's a no man's land. Deserts and stuff like that are primarily no man's land. Now, again, yes, you have, sanctuaries, and they know certain ways to go where the water is, blah, blah, blah. But all around, though, you don't live in the desert. It's not the ideal place to live in, because it's a desert. There's no water. Now, we like water, and so generally it's a good idea to have a place that has water.
But Dave, also, you said we like water, but there's also something else that we like a lot. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Well, has anybody mentioned it lately? I was just thinking to myself, I don't think I've seen anybody mention it.
I believe I've seen some pop up in the chat.
Okay,
earlier.
well,
Like,
we'll go through here and we'll remind everybody that around here, we do.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
woohoo!
Dave has been having toast. I did not have toast today. Today was a store day, so there wasn't any toast. But there was some sausages, so I made some sausages and some fruit. And my son came over early today to, he's helping finish up the roofing project. Doing an outstanding job, by the way. Thank you. Both my sons have been working very hard. I was working as much as I could. I can only do stuff till it starts to, if I feel it, right? So then I got to take it easy. So I do what I can. But we got a lot of stuff done this week, doing it in a cautious manner, a little bit at a time. A lot of things got done this week. So thank you, everybody. And things will come together. It's just it's a bump in the road. And, these things happen. We also have somebody who offered some help. They need to pay somebody to help out or whatever. They know a guy was the word. And I appreciate that too. People looking out. So things will get done. Things are moving forward. And thanks to everybody that's been helping out to get this finally half of it's disappearing from my yard at least. So thank you, everybody. And I do appreciate it.
Yes? Okay. This is Daniel chapter 14. Now that won't be in the Protestant Bible. Not only are several books missing from a Protestant Bible, but even books that they do have are missing some chapters. The last 2 chapters of the book of Daniel are not in a Protestant Bible. Many of them were removed because the Protestant heresiarch who founded that particular religion didn't like what that book of the Bible taught. There's a bit of a problem when if you're Martin Luther, or I don't know, whoever else in the language.
And what books did the Catholics leave out?
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. That's a two-way thing, right? They leave in and they leave out. And I like this story. I don't like that story type thing. Well, boo-hoo, right? That's happened a lot through religious texts, that your story isn't always the one that's the most favored or the one that gets to be in there. Native atheists, hello. Asshole, hello. I saw somebody else there too. Kafai, I'm just here for the toast. Well, Kafai, that's the comment of the night, because we do love toast. And, Brainless was just mentioning it, and we're going to mention it again. And Kafai's mentioning it again. It's a trend, folks.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
And I'm here to testify that I had some toast earlier and I loved it.
There you go. Well, Intrepid Chimp, we love toast. All right. I have been having toast. As I said, I am not a breakfast person, but when you're taking meds and they tell you, eat with this or don't eat with this, blah, 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 you have a little direction. So some meds do make you want to eat. They can't talk to your stomach like, I want something to eat first. So, and toast is quick and easy. You pop it in the toaster, boom, boom, boom. It does. It goes down fast and easy to make. And most everybody's got some butter, some jelly or something, some cheese, some garlic, whatever you like on your toast, and away you go. So, toast is good. We love toast. We're going to have to do it again.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
Yeah, I hope everybody OD'd on the toast. Yeah. Everybody have some toast. Enjoy your toast. All right. Okay. Who do we have here? We've got the redeemed one, Do Heck. I thought it's Do Host. Yeah, they folks agreeing that we enjoy toast.
Now I got to go listen to Do Host. So
Do Host, Do Host, Mish.
It's one of my favorite drinking songs at a certain stage of my drunk.
Yeah.
You know, I did a little digging around, and it looks like there's not that many dinosaur fossils that have been discovered in Israel and the Levant in that area. So it's like everybody says, "Oh, it's a dragon. It was a dragon," but no, you don't get those kinds of fossils. There's a few marine, dinosaur fossils, or actually the ones that were around during dinosaur times but weren't really dinosaurs. Those kinds of fossils, marine fossils, and maybe an ankylosaur here and there, but nothing that you can just like scan on the surface of the desert floor and say, "Hey, dragon," So I think they're just really barking up a silly tree all around. Credibility crashing to the floor.
Could be any sillier than a magic zoo boat, but it's possible, I guess.
If you try to keep a straight face and talk seriously about all those things, I don't know how these people have any credibility with anybody.
That's the thing. Even facing bad news from the doctors and stuff. Somebody asked me about what my religious leanings are these days. And it's like, well, if Jesus is going to show up, then Jesus is going to show up. But I'd much rather talk to the doctors right now. Jesus got a rest of eternity. I can talk to him. I'm more concerned with what the doctors are doing for me, and if the doctors are going to see me next year or not. That's my major concern.
You don't need Jesus yet.
Don't need him yet. Hey, I got no problem with Jesus. Rebecca, Bread of Life, said, Dave, you don't seem to have any problem with Jesus. And I was like, I don't have any problem with Jesus. So me and Jesus are like this. Like, we cool.
If they started, I was telling Mike this earlier, if they started having communion with Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets, I might become a Christian again.
Yep.
There you go. See, there are ways to a man's heart. I mean, they're usually right there.
Nobody should give money to Chick-fil-A.
Don't do that.
Please.
Mike was trying to make me feel guilty.
Yep. Should have went to the next spot and got the shitty chicken nuggets.
Yeah, all the other ones are just kind of crappy compared to Chick-fil-A.
Now that you've told me that, I'm dying to try them because I've never been to a Chick-fil-A.
I had some.
We don't have.
We were looking for something to have in the freezer, for a snack, and she came across these new kind of nugget things. They were awful. I don't remember the name of them, but I told her, "Don't buy them ever again."
Man, when I was a little boy, my mom told me that Chick-fil-A were a bunch of homophobic assholes, so I never went.
They are.
So.
Good advice.
Yeah, they are. But then again, like that might not be the case for like Amazon, but like Amazon works its workers to death. So
yeah, that's true. Then I use Amazon daily almost.
Any of these guys, and you say sola scriptura, we can only believe it if it's in the Bible. If it then turns out that there's a book in the Bible which teaches this thing you say isn't true, you have to remove that book. So, for instance, 1 Maccabees and 2 Maccabees are missing from a Protestant Bible. What do you find in Maccabees? You find them after the battle praying for the dead and offering sacrifice for the dead, which is something that Protestants don't do and don't believe in, but there it is in the Bible.
What's a Maccabee?
So there was
Maccabees was a kind of a Jewish royal dynasty that ruled England. Not England. I'm sorry.
No, I mean there was a book in the Bible.
So what?
There was a book in the Bible named Maccabees.
It was called the Apocrypha. In other words, it's books that were highly respected, and some did consider as scripture, but it never made it into the canon.
Okay.
Or it made it in there as Apocrypha, and then the Protestants just left it out. But yeah, it contains a lot of the Jewish revolutionary history when they revolted against. I forget the name of the guy. You'll just have to look it up. Maccabees, Maccabees, I think is how you spell it.
The redeemed one wants to know, do you believe that God exists? Well, no. This is Saturday Night at the Atheist. We do not believe that God exists. That's kind of what an atheist means. So, easy answer to your question. Do you believe that God exists? No. I mean, there you go.
So those books have to go. Martin Luther was particularly against the idea of chastity and vows of chastity and virginity.
Of course he was. Yeah, of course he was. A Puritan, yeah. Famously.
I want to know what's in that wrapper that he just opened there. He found something good to open, I think.
Yeah, that was a Kit Kat.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking must have been something sweet to top it off.
Done my research.
You know what I'm craving right now? Those mint chocolate, those chocolate covered mint cookies that the Girl Scouts sell. That would be good right now. But I'm a diabetic, so I can't have any.
Toasted.
I'm gonna go get myself a Kit Kat just to make sure.
God or gods in general.
When I open it.
It's the same thing. Redeem. This is Saturday Night at the Atheist. We discuss here many times what an atheist is, and an atheist doesn't believe in God. And that's about the end of it. So
Any God.
But if you mean kind of a basic,
pick one.
Abstract theistic God, there's still, most of us, I think, would say there's no real evidence for that. We need a reason to believe that's true.
No, we're atheists.
So what?
No, we're atheists. Right? It's in the title. It's in the fucking title. All right.
They got a problem with this word, and it's like, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. Atheist is no God, right? And they keep pushing it, and they, it's just like the fascination with me. It's like, oh, you're an atheist, and you got bad news from your doctor, huh? It's like, yeah, my doctor gave me bad news. I didn't find it in the Bible.
If you're an atheist.
Luckily my doctor's on it a lot more than the Bible people are. So, yeah. And Simply Secular Dave, thanks for stopping by. And Jin is here too. Hello, Jin.
It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool if you went to your doctor and the first question they ask you is, are you an atheist or a believer? And you tell them, well, I'm a believer. And they say, okay, we'll pray for you. Next.
Yeah. Dr. Mordecai is here too. I'm going to get some ice cream. Ice cream is good too. I had, the throat down or the scope down my throat the other day, tore my throat all up. My voice was just recovering. They tore it up again. I told my wife, I earned some ice cream. So she got me some ice cream. I had something shoved down my throat. I should get some ice cream. And I got some ice cream. Helped a lot. I tried some strawberry. It'd been a while since I had some strawberry. I said, give me some strawberry. So she's found some good strawberry. And sorry about the siren out the window there. But it was some good strawberry. I really enjoyed it. So strawberry is good too. I'll take all the different ice creams. As long as they aren't the pieces in there, because especially when you're trying to soothe a sore throat, you don't want any pieces in your ice cream, So for people who like pieces in your ice cream, spare me right now. Let's just talk about soothing ice cream for a sore throat, because you don't want no pieces in there. Okay.
Yeah.
And the trusty ape, if I didn't say hi to you, hi. Always good to see you. We've got Skeptic Philosophy in here too. Good to see you. If I mentioned your name and I forgot, remember that Dave is on drugs. So I have been putting off my prescription until I wrap up tonight because I don't want to get goofy on everybody. I know a couple times I've gotten goofy, and it's the drugs, and especially the one I take at 9 o'clock. So tonight, she's got the cups labeled here, and she bumped the hour on them all a little bit. So to make sure that I'm not high and goofy while I'm doing my stream tonight. Just for you folks, I'm risking my... No, I'm not risking my health. I should say that. I adjusted my schedule an hour different, okay, to accommodate y'all. And because I don't want to make anybody worry about me drifting off into Never Neverland. And speaking of Never Neverland, Kafai knows all about it, right, Kafai? Sometimes you skip off into Never Neverland, and it's not a good time. So tonight will not be that way. And let's see. Somebody's talking Redeemer. Okay, good. Because I didn't feel like it. And yeah, it's always a pleasure to see you. Ape, always rooting for you. Hang in there. Okay.
He thought everybody should marry, and you shouldn't have nuns, and you shouldn't have priests, and so on. And yet you have the advice of
It sounds like Luther to me. Yeah, it sounds like Luther, yeah.
Yeah, very odd.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, thought there shouldn't be priests, but popes? Oh, that's fine. He went to see the Pope regularly, apparently.
Yeah, that is a little odd. Okay.
It doesn't make any
So
sense.
the Epistle of St. James has to go. I mean, he himself had a big problem with chastity, which explains a lot of what happened with him. We won't go into that now. The point is very interesting. Daniel 14. There was a great dragon in that place, and the Babylonians worshipped him. And the king said to Daniel, Behold, thou canst not say now that this is not a living God.
Man, did he bring like his entire groceries with him?
He's back to another. That's a packet of crisps.
Maybe he's husking corn.
He's run out of cheese. He's run out of ready salted. He's run out of like salt and vinegar. He's on ready salted now. I can tell by the way the bag is crinkling because they quite often have bigger crisps. So yeah, just technically to fill in on that, that's ready salted.
Well, like if he had the munchies and he stopped by, okay, and he bought a bag of chips and a pop, or like you do at a carry out. A lot of us have done it.
Yeah.
You buy this garbage and you stuff it in your face and it's gone in a couple minutes. He's digging though into at the bottom of a bag, like he's got a full grocery list of garbage that he brought to this event.
No, there's a
to
bar
eat in the
there,
microphone.
And then he sat by the microphone.
Well,
there's a bar. There's crisps on tap. I mean,
is that what he's? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. All right. So he's
crisps on tap. Crisps and Kit Kats. That's generally what you find in these places.
Well, yeah, okay.
And peanuts, but I haven't heard any peanuts yet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm listening intently.
I just wanted to say this at this point. I wonder what ye oldie book they're reading from, particularly which version of Kant's the Bible say X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
That's even farther at the bottom of the bag.
I think Brad would be quite happy watching this.
Adore him, therefore. By the way, Daniel is showing to the Babylonians, I worship the living God. Living God means the one that actually exists. The one that...
Yeah. Does he got a heartbeat?
Daniel is showing the God that really exists, and your God doesn't really exist. Come on, dude.
That means in ancient Babylon, that meant the one that actually exists. That's the literal translation of living.
That's the oldest game, isn't it? My God can beat up your God, right?
Absolutely.
It's the oldest story told.
Yeah.
Lame.
It's really alive. And in fact, this is just an idol And I think in the temple they left food out every night, and in the morning it was gone. And they say that proves that it's a. And Daniel catches them at it. And of course, the priests of the temple are removing the food.
Of course he does.
Oh, he gave up a secret.
Of course, Daniel catches them, right? Nobody else, right? And also that means that Daniel got access to the ziggurat, which is a sacred place, which only the priest had access to.
Mm-hmm.
So how did Daniel? Oh no, it's made up, isn't it? Shit. Sorry. Carry on.
So he catches them at it and he says, "There you go. I told you it was just an idol. It's not a real thing. It's an object."
and they hanged him for it. Of course. Because well, what the fuck are you doing in the sacred places? So obviously they threw him off the top of the ziggurat. So.
Hey Tori, how you doing? Good to see you.
His gristle like plates of iron. He's a big. Said, I adore
plates of iron.
Which is something that probably
I had to skip a little bit. I hit the button.
In the Bible. So those books have to go. Martin Luther was particularly go. Him, and the king said to Daniel, "Behold, thou canst not say now, this is not a living God. Adore him, therefore." By the way, Daniel is.
I'm lost though as to why he has such a bag of munchies if it's a bar. It's
That's
still
what they have at bars.
Yeah.
Munchies.
Yeah.
People that drink often like to eat crisps. And if
Yeah, but
especially
aren't they, like, in a bowl?
you can't smoke in pubs anymore. So,
Yeah, that's true.
like, back in the day, that you'd be smoking and going, yeah, oh fuck that, you fucking nutter, come over here, I'll fucking show you. Wait, Tracy, that'd be all that going on. But these days,
I'm not that opinionated, but I think anybody who eats on Zoom or YouTube ought to be taken out and shot.
It's a problem I have too. Hello, Robin.
hello, Robin.
Robin's out there saying hello to Mike and Dave and Simos and everybody, and
Hi,
we
Robin.
love Robin too. Yeah, I have an issue with it too. I said, hey, I'm streaming at 5 o'clock on Saturday Night Atheist, and every week it's at 5 o'clock, and so I had to tell myself, I should probably have something to eat like about 4 o'clock, because otherwise about 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I'm going to be hungry, then I'm going to be...
If you're streaming at 5, you don't want to have supper at 5:05.
Right. So I had
common sense.
So I had something to eat about 4 o'clock, and then brushed my teeth and went and did my show. Then afterwards, my wife said, would you like me to make him maybe a sundae after you're done streaming? I have the nice cold on my throat, as I was mentioning earlier. And I said, well, that would be lovely to have a nice shake after my stream tonight. So plan these things out, and yet these other gentlemen here are scarfing on crisps through the whole thing, right in the microphone. They're posting it on YouTube, and it's like, didn't you put any thought into this at all? I mean, just minuscule, none whatsoever, right? Okay, just double checking. Maybe I should. Just saying.
Showing to the Babylonians, I worship the living God. Living God means the one that actually exists, the one that's really alive. And in fact, this is just an idol. And I think in the temple they left food out every night, and in the morning it was gone. And they say that proves that it's. And Daniel catches them at it. And of course, the priests of the temple are removing the food overnight when no one's looking. So he catches them at it and he says, "There you go. I told you it was just
to
an idol.
point something else
It's not a real
out.
thing. It's an inanimate
point something
object
out.
that you worship."
Just to point something else out, one of the things they used to do was, people used to make these, they had to give this sort of tax payment to the temples, and that would get redistributed to the poor and the workers. More often at the workers, because the temples owned quite a lot of the land, and they employed the people to work on the land, so they would pay them with the donations.
Well, my hopes have all been dashed. I mean, when you left the cookie out for Santa Claus and you thought Santa Claus actually ate that cookie and left you the crumbs on the plate, and it turns out that Santa Claus didn't actually eat the cookie.
No. That was me.
Oh man.
I used to get up after going to sleep. When I heard my parents go to sleep, I'd get up, creep downstairs, and eat the cookies. And I thought I was being ever so clever because my other brothers would get up in the morning and go, "Oh, the cookies are gone. Look." And my mum would go, "The cookies are gone, you see?" And I'd be sitting there grinning my ass off, going, "Yep." Oh, dear. Fun times.
So then the king said to him, "Well, how about this one? We worship this god. This is definitely living." And he shows him a dragon. "Thou canst not say now that this is not a living God. Adore him therefore." And Daniel said, "I adore the Lord my God, for he is the living God, but that is no living God. Give me leave, O king, and I will kill this dragon without sword or club." And the king said, "I give thee leave." Permission, in other words. And then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair and boiled them together, and he made lumps and put them into the dragon's mouth, and the dragon burst asunder. So he kills it by feeding.
Oh, that's how you kill a dragon. You feed it itself.
Yeah,
Nice.
just to point out, I thought the
It's that
dragon was
easy.
there. I thought Daniel said the dragon didn't exist. It was a non-living god. So, what burst asunder by putting something? What inanimate object bursts asunder when you put in some sugary stuff into the mouth? I think this whole story's falling apart a little bit. I'm having my suspicions that Daniel was
No.
actually just a con artist.
I think you letting on more than you know about this video, Simos.
Oh, damn. Okay.
It has ulterior motives, and none of them are what's on the surface that they thought it was at all. No, it's an Illuminati taking over the world with some secret religious cabal thing. It's far beyond anything we've ever strived for on Saturday Night at the Atheist. I mean, we are digging deep here, very, very deep under the surface of the Vatican and everything, trying to get the answers to these questions. And not to give it away too much, but we might be digging under some pyramids next week. I've got a video. I wasn't sure I was going to look at it this week or not. I thought, no, it's more important to finish off this series. But next week, I think we're going to look at this. This woman has some ultimate secrets about the pyramids, I think, are going to blow our world wide open. Simos, I really hope you're ready for it. Next week, it might be a brave new world next week. So just a heads up there.
Better do some acid then, just in honor of Aldous Huxley.
I have to ask my doctor. Doctors tell me I can't take anything unless I check with him. So I thought it would be funny. Hey, Doc, can I smoke a joint?
Absolutely.
Somebody's joining in the chat named Eternity. What's up, Eternity? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly, but
well,
whatever.
I try to be nice to everybody. Even the redeemed one. Teleological arguments. The order and design
is that triple underscore
of the
eternity?
cosmos demand that there be an intelligent mind
or is it
behind
dunder?
it. The order and design of the cosmos. Well, see, right there we're going to go to Peter Atkins, and Peter Atkins says the universe seems to be designed for a lot of rocks. So,
yeah, lazy mind, redeemed one, lazy mind.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very. Again, a lazy mind. I mean, he made a universe of rocks. The argument is how you look at it. I mean, you can look at something and with awe and wonder, and you can look at something that is Charlie Brown getting a bag full of rocks. And, nobody wants a bag full of rocks. So, although there are some rock collectors out there, they're overjoyed to get a bag full of rocks. So, it's all how you look at things, really.
It hairballs dipped in fat, so it's going to think that they're delicious and eat them, and then it dies. Next.
even though it's not real and doesn't exist.
And that doesn't happen. Yeah. But he quietly, instead of saying, "Well, this is a bunch of nonsense," he goes real quiet. See, he uses authority, and then he moves on to the next thing. So it actually has some like authority to it, even though it was utter nonsense. He gave it some authority.
This is from Job. Job.
Job.
Not Job. Oh, let me guess. It's about the behemoth.
Renowned for being one of the most stupid people in the Bible.
Yeah, Job's not too.
He's not too smart. Yeah.
His whole family gets screwed over, and he's like, "Thank you, God." And it's like, "What are you, an idiot?" You know?
Yeah, but God, why'd you do that? Don't fucking ask me why.
Yeah, how dare you? Yeah, Job was a righteous man. It says there are no righteous people, but Job, it says, was a righteous man. The only thing that Job dared do was ask, "Why F me every morning?" Right? I'm doing everything right, and I'm getting effed. Every time I turn around, I'm getting effed. And he dared say, "How come I'm doing everything right and I'm getting effed?" And for that, God was mad at him. I was like, if anybody had the right to say, "Why am I getting effed every time I turn around?" it was Job, because he was supposedly doing everything the right way. And he was still getting totally screwed. So if there's a lesson for you from the Bible, if you do everything to the letter like you're supposed to do, Jesus and Satan are going to screw with you anyways. Just saying.
So remember, Christians, be smarter than Job.
Yeah, a little bit. And we've got Quasar join us. How you doing, Quasar? Good to see you. See who else is in here. I saw Dr. Mordecai earlier. Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And if I didn't say hi to Ryan. Hello, everybody. Just wanted to double check the chat real quick. Check in with everybody. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a good one.
We got any Christians in the chat that we can persecute?
Oh, yeah. There's at least two. At least two.
Okay.
That seems to be, yeah.
I love that. Love that.
Okay.
Eternity.
And crisps, too.
God says to him, "You've got no business complaining. You don't understand my intention or what I have in mind. Where were you when I made the world?"
Oh, good comeback.
Yeah, see, there it is. How dare you question me?
Where were you?
I'm God. How dare you question me?
Could have cleaned the place up a little bit in the meantime. Yeah.
Where were you when I did all these things?
Down the pub.
He says, "Look."
Yeah, apparently.
Down the pub? You were down the pub when I made the world.
Yeah. Darn it, I keep hitting the...
"All these things I created, behold behemoth, and in moist places. The shades
moist
cover
places?
his shadow.
Did he say
the
moist
willows
places?
of the-"
Yeah, moist
say moist?
places. Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Now, I've done a video on Behemoth. And Behemoth, the fascination with Behemoth seems to be with its tail. And they associate the tail to a member.
Dave, calm down, because we're going to get more specifically to that in a minute. So I don't want you to spoil it just now. Okay?
Right.
He's going to mention it, and then bang, you've got him. Okay?
All right, here we go.
"Brook shall compass him about. Behold, he will drink up a river and not wander, and he trusteth that the Jordan may run into his mouth." So he lives on the riverbank, underneath the trees.
Sounds reasonable.
Underneath the trees, because he's a huge dinosaur.
And
Bony
he's
out.
not a meat-eating animal. He eats grass, but he's
Eats
so
grass.
big that you wouldn't be surprised if he drank up the whole river.
Yeah.
But he's so big, he's hiding under the roots.
He's so big, he's under the trees. He's under the trees.
Under the trees.
Lives on the riverbank,
Okay.
under the trees,
Here we go.
and he drinks a lot.
And he can drink up the whole river with his mouth because it's so huge.
Well, you wouldn't be surprised. He's never done that, you understand?
But he
you
could.
wouldn't be surprised. You wouldn't be surprised if he did that. No,
No, it
evidence
wasn't.
he's actually could drink a river.
It wasn't a
other than
hippo, even though
England.
the Bible says in the notes it's a hippo. It's not a hippo, even though the Bible says it's a hippo.
Now we're gonna get there. We're gonna
We're
get
getting
there.
there. We promised.
We got to wait for his penis description first.
Commentaries
Go ahead.
very often will say, "Oh, it's an elephant," or "It's a hippopotamus."
Oh,
Yeah, most
there we
Bibles
go.
will say it's an elephant or a hippopotamus because of the sheer size of behemoth being the largest land animal, which seems to be a hippo or a elephant, and that's why it follows. But now we're using words like follows here. Sorry, again, we should go with Strom's or something. I'm sure it doesn't follow anything. So we'll see.
Yeah, pretty sure elephants
Set
don't
it
live
up
on
his tail like a
banks of
cedar.
rivers
The
either.
Latin Vulgate says, "Constringit," he brandishes, "caudam suam quasi cedrum." Now, a cedar is a particularly big tree. They live to an old age and they have.
Now, cedar is not a particularly large tree. A cedar is a family of trees. There's different types of cedar. There's different types of cedar in the Middle East to a cedar that you would find in the Northwest. So I've looked all this stuff up. He's not consistent at all. There are different types of cedar.
And also, they are a very long-lived tree, or can be, of course, and that's what makes them big, because they keep growing for many generations. But generally, cedars, like for these days, you can't get cedars which are that big anymore because they've all been harvested. And we have to wait another 400 years for them to grow that big. Guess what? People keep harvesting them.
Hello, Austin. Austin was doing some schoolwork, it seems. That you were busy with? Yeah, you were busy. Busy. Keep it up, Austin. Whatever you got going on there. I know you're busy, but it'll pay off. It'll pay off.
Skeptic says he thinks for 500, final answer, it's a hippo.
Yeah. I'm staying with hippo too. So
Yeah. Well, we need the I'm waiting for the explanation from you.
okay.
So I'm excited to hear that.
Very big, thick trunks. Who's seen the tail of a hippopotamus?
Uh-oh.
I have.
The tail of
I've
an
been.
elephant. It's like a bit of string.
No, it's
There's
not.
absolutely
No, it's like a tail.
Okay. Are we close enough?
Yeah, we're close enough. Go for it, Dave.
Okay. He's not talking about his hippo.
His tail. He's not talking about his tail.
The hippo tail. They're not talking about the hippo tail. They are talking about the hippo member. Now,
Didn't he say testicles? Did he say testicles?
Yeah, they're bound with iron.
Okay.
Some to its frame or some. It
But
has very
there's a
powerful
problem.
testicles.
There's a problem with that. Dinosaurs don't have testicles on the outside. Yeah.
No. And the thing
That's
is
an
with the
animal.
hippopotamus member kind of points backwards, which aids in how they do their thing, right? So it's very obvious when the male hippo is excited, okay? This thing is pointing right at you, and it's very obvious, and that's why it says things about its stones and its belly, and it's showing off. It's junk, okay? It's junk. It has nothing at all what to do with the tail, which is very pathetic. It's got a little skin flap, and they'll talk about with the rhino, hippo, any of that family, the elephant, they all do the same thing. Now, it is not a little thing, though, that they're doing either when they're flicking the feces everywhere, because this is a warning, okay? If one of these animals is flicking feces, you don't go mess with him, okay? It's not a joke either, all right? It's a serious warning. So all these little things it's doing and stuff are a serious warning, but the tail is a tiny little pathetic thing compared to its member. And if you look at some of the older definitions, especially in the Bible, they're a little more explicit. It is clearly talking about the the disposition of the member. Okay, anybody that knows about the male member, it can grow, and it can stand out, and it can poke somebody's eye out. Okay, that's what they have noticed with the male hippo, is that it is very noticeable when it is in that mode. Okay, there even is a Bible verse, I forget which version it is, but it's in my video that I did on this, about when there's a description of what is occurring because this hippo is horny. Okay, and you don't mess with them. All right, like you shouldn't mess with anybody that's in that mode, especially a wild animal type thing, right? They always tell everybody, whatever season it is, don't mess with the animals. Okay, they're not right. Okay, they're full of hormones. They're trying to complete their life function, their biology and all this stuff. And especially like the elephants, they go into musts and stuff where they can literally trample you down and everything. They don't know any better because it's all these chemicals are overwhelming their minds. And it's a primal thing to reproduce. It's a vital thing to reproduce. If you don't reproduce, you're done, okay? So don't mess with these animals that are trying to reproduce. And really, that's what the story of Job is. Do not mess with these animals. And it mentions the behemoth is chief among the animals or something. In other words, don't mess with a hippo, okay? You don't mess with the hippo. And it's good advice because, as we've covered before here, and I have covered, hippos harm a lot of people every year and bring the demise of many, of many people from this cute hippo, squashing them, biting them, many things, because it's a big animal that doesn't like to be messed with. And
I'm surprised they don't live in Australia.
That's about it. Well, we got to spread them around a little bit,
They're pretty deadly.
But yeah, hippos,
Most definitely.
and also looking it up, your regular old cows, because of the size, are very deadly. They squash people. You get caught in a pen with one of them, and it doesn't take much to squish the air out of you, and it doesn't take you very long to expire without having air in you. So be cautious around big animals. They can squish you. Hello? Hopefully not with their member, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way that is a hippopotamus or an elephant. I think it's a great big sauropod dinosaur.
Well, of course you do, because you're reading a bunch of nonsense. That's why you think it is. That's why. That's the only reason. There's no other reason. And I'm not going to be kind to you because you're reading a bunch of nonsense from Hovind. Why do I keep saying Hovind? Yeah, it is Hovind. I keep wanting to say Hawaiian shirt guy. And I'm saying Hovind. Let's get this straight.
That's the only thing that really fits the description. Yeah. Okay, on we go.
It's the only thing that fits the description. How about you read what's actually it says in the Bible, and it better suits the description, because the only things that eat grass like an ox out of the animals described would be a elephant, a hippopotamus, a crocodile, or a snake. And crocodiles and snakes are not known to be vegetarians. So you can read the Bible and get a description and an understanding. So there's no other way to get information, but you're leaving out the one book that gives you the information. It's like, oh, now I'm defending the Bible. I mean, the Bible has the answer in it, and they refuse to read the answer that the Bible says. Just unbelievable. The one thing that the Bible does explain, I can't use from the Bible to explain it. Really? Okay.
Here's a couple of references from the Psalms. Thou by thy strength did make the sea firm. Thou didst crush the heads of the dragons in the waters, says Psalm 73. Thou shalt walk upon the asp and the basilisk, and thou shalt trample underfoot the lion and the dragon, says Psalm 90. Interesting.
Yeah, well, to trample underfoot the lion and the dragon, it's poetic language. That's what the Psalms are. They're poems.
Some of these modern translations, whenever it mentions dragon, they render it as snake or serpent. Well, there is a sort.
Why? Because the other definition in the Bible is serpent. So that's why you hear a lot of things about the serpent deceived Eve and all these kind of things, because besides being a no man's land, it is something to do with a serpent. And this generally has to do with people had a genuine concern and fear of the serpent. And when it was brought up, it was also in the context of a no man's land. Don't do that. Bad things will happen type thing. So, yeah. But the dragon doesn't have anything to do with a dinosaur, though. So a serpent is not a dinosaur. You're not, no matter which way you go with this, you're not helping the argument that it is speaking about a dinosaur, because it is not, and it's certainly not speaking about a sauropod.
Sort of superficial similarity, but notice it says the asp and the basilisk. Those are actual snakes, and it names them.
So it named some snakes.
Ooh.
Not dinosaurs. Not dinosaurs.
But one of which isn't a snake, by the way.
So I'll give that to you. Okay, we'll forget it. Forget everything else. Okay, it names some snakes. Again, there's a good warning to warn people about some snakes, especially if they're poisonous or constrictors or whatever do you some harm. There's good reason to write about and warn you about these animals. But it's not dinosaur. Not a dinosaur.
And it says a dragon.
Is Psalm 90 the one incompetent?
It is the one incompetent, exactly, yeah.
Again, the Psalms are not, they're poetry.
They're songs.
Yeah, they're Psalms. They're interpretive, you know. You can't take them literally either. So, bad example.
Super aspidum et basiliscum ambulab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's the same
I
one.
just had never paid attention to that.
No, it's the same one, I think, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't pay attention because you were eating all them chips. That's why.
The word in Latin is draconis, the defension. Yeah. Praise the Lord from the earth.
And see, he threw that Latin in there, and it goes back to Draco and this and that. Who cares? See, he's taking out all these things that it's not what the Bible says. Okay, you're supposed to be going back to what your Bible says. I don't remember if you was in the first video where they started opening with a prayer and everything. So these are very religious people, supposedly, right? That they're entrusting that they're going to have some kind of divine intervention, right, or a visit or whatever, while they're having this meeting about Bible things or whatever. Supposedly they're taking it serious, but at the same time they're not, because they're dismissing entirely what the Bible says about this. So I have a hard time taking them seriously. He's holding a Hawaiian shirt guy in high esteem, and he's throwing out whole parts of the Bible he doesn't like. He's a Catholic, so he has an issue with books that are in there and aren't in there because of Catholic or non-Catholic. Who's trying to hide something from somebody? Yeah, it's getting real deep, real fast.
Ye dragons and all ye deeps. Makes it sound like dragons also live in the depth of the sea, right? And the point of that psalm is,
Well,
again,
ye dragons.
Yeah.
Ye dragons. Makes ye dragons sound silly because he puts the word ye before them. I mean, you may as well say Kanye dragons.
Yeah. Hey, Spooky, how you doing? Mark, how you doing? Eric
Mark
is here. Org is stopping in. Bunch of folks. Hey, how you doing? Good to see everybody this evening. Hello, everybody.
Amazing God is, he's the only one who could have done this. He made everything, including
Yeah, there you go. It's the only one. It's the only one that could have done it.
Yeah.
Because he did everything.
Good for you.
There you go.
including the dragons. On we go.
Dragons. Yeah.
So
Could have
were
done
the
it.
dinosaurs on board the Ark? Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
talking
There we
about
go.
the Ark.
Proof positive. Were the dragons on the Ark? Yes.
Just like Bigfoot. I got to know this question.
Weren't they already extinct by then anyway? Okay, no. Dinosaurs and men lived alongside one another, and when you say that to a modern person, it blows their mind, and they'll either go insane or they'll just collapse laughing at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It blows their mind with how stupid you are.
Well, it also blows my mind that, that he thinks that people will go insane when you tell them that dragons and men live together.
Their minds are blown. I mean, they're just blown.
They go insane on the spot. Quite clearly.
65 million years went by in just a flash, and we missed it.
Or it could be one or the other. Not sure. They either go completely insane or they laugh at you.
Yeah.
And you can't tell the difference between those two things sometimes.
I'll take the latter for 400.
I'm just saying. Sometimes they seem very similar, those two things. There you go, Dave. Dave's gone insane. There we are.
Yeah, it's all people have been saying there's something wrong with my head, and it seems they were right. So I got to be a little humble. I mean, if they would have cracked open my head and they wouldn't have found anything, then I'd have something to say. I'd say, see,
there we go.
They cracked open my head and they didn't find a dang thing. But no, there was something there. What a bummer.
Have a look at this. This is the grave. It's in Carlisle Cathedral. Bishop Bell died in 1496.
Yo, Bishop Bell. Oh,
just take that date into consideration. 1496. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Oops.
And they have very big, thick trunks.
Fox.
Caudam suam quasi cedrum. Now, a cedar is a particularly big tree. They live superficial similarity, but notice it says the asp and the basilisk. And when you say that to a modern person, it blows their mind, and they'll either go insane or they'll just collapse laughing at you. Have a look at this. This is the grave. It's in Carlisle Cathedral.
Right.
Bishop Bell died in 1496.
1496.
The authorities there have taken since to covering it with carpets and denying its existence because they got so tired.
They're not See, he's trying to throw some conspiracy stuff in here. Because of its position and everything, and because of the wear on it, yes, there has been some wear on it because of the carpeting and its location and everything, and they try to restrict it by covering it so that people aren't wearing it out prematurely, because apparently you just can't move a grave around, right? So, yes, but it's not, there's no ulterior motives to it. It's not, they're doing it because it's in a bad place, and it's been there for a long time. It's got a lot of wear on it, and ultimately, the things he's going to cite are more creationist garbage about, see, it's a dinosaur, when most of the things that are on this are not dinosaur, they're mythological.
Yeah, well, also, just to point out, I'm sure this is fairly obvious, but nonetheless, got to point them out to it. So, and the dinosaur bones, in inverted commas, the anatomy of some of these dragon bones hadn't even been discovered by 1496. People had absolutely no idea that dragons were real in the sense of being dinosaurs. They might have thought dragons were real in the sense of, flying beasts that breathe fire, etc., etc. But they had no idea about dinosaurs being around in the flood times. So the very thought that they could be drawing these dinosaurs themselves, right? The only way they could do that is if they saw them, right? That's the only way they could see. That's the only way. And I think if they were around in the 1500s, we'd have a slightly better drawings than some kind of copy of a mythological beast. Yeah. Notice how all of the other animals look like the animals they're supposed to represent, but they don't give this particular beast a name, of course. They just draw it. Anyway, go ahead.
Of the constant stream of people, including tourists from all over the world, wanting to see the dinosaurs on his grave.
Certainly.
There we go, look at that. Some of these, just for comparison...
If they wanted to hide it, they would. If they wanted to hide it, they would have just grabbed an angle grinder and got it off of there.
Same way, it might not be. It might just be a picture badly drawn. That's clearly a bat. Can we agree?
Clearly.
Yes. And
No,
that is clearly
vampire.
a fish.
No,
And that's a
shark.
dog. And that's a bird.
And the funny thing is, for this guy having a fancy grave with engravings around it or whatever, they aren't done very well. I mean, it's like all of the pictures are terrible around it. It's so he's not like, well, look, granted, this isn't the best one of the dinosaur, but this is a really good one of the other ones. The other ones aren't that good at pictures either. I mean, he says, now granted, this is a bat, but it's not a great bat. I mean, none of the pictures I think are great pictures. So.
I hate to
because
say
they
this,
didn't get a professional. It was just like their kids. Just they knew someone.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Northern Europe, not famous for its art at this period in time. If you'd gone to Italy, at this time, you may have got a decent rendition of whatever it is you were looking at, but certainly not in Northern England at the time. Not famous for its
all the pictures are bad.
art.
Yeah, all the pictures are bad and could be from anything, from anybody's perspective, what exactly it was or what they were trying to, project in the image or whatever or something. It is totally lost because they are really, really bad pictures. So.
Also, I don't see any pictures of men in the background at all.
Yeah.
Go. What are these two things here? Have a good old look at that.
Yeah.
What on
The
earth
badges.
could they be?
The badges.
Now you can see the brass is rather faded. I mean, it is after all 500 and something odd years old, right?
Yeah.
But those are clearly two dinosaurs. And this thing down here might be as well. You can't really see the head of it, but it has teeth and it has a sort of spiky crest on top of its head.
What is he talking about?
Difficult to tell.
It's
what is that
clearly
thing?
a dinosaur.
What is that thing we're looking at? Where did he say it's from? Some tomb or something?
Yeah, it's from a Carlisle bishop. Could you go back a second? Carlisle Cathedral of Carlisle.
Okay, when was this dude buried?
1496.
1496. So there were dinosaurs in 1496?
That's the implication. Yes.
Okay, I get it. Keep going.
And that's why we've got records of them everywhere.
Yeah, right. They would have. Yeah.
In Carlisle, of course.
Yeah, shit.
Famous for its dinosaurs.
Yeah, I even seen a few of them in Monty Python skits, from back then. So.
Yeah, there you go.
And just
it is the brass engravings on the tomb of Bishop Richard Bell, died in 1496 in Carlisle Cathedral, England, which depicts two creatures with long necks and tails that resemble sauropod dinosaurs. Its tomb contains depictions of the bishop, like a dog, a pig, an eel, and other things around it. Now, one of the explanations is that he could have found a dinosaur skeleton, and it might have been depicted as part of his life, and it might have been why it was there. Now, the problem is the exaggeration of the size. It is not anatomical to a real creature. So there's a lot of discussion whether it's a real creature or not. But there is something that this guy was some kind of a naturalist, and that at some time they could have been exploring a dig that wasn't well understood at the time. Dinosaurs were not well understood at the time. And it is possible that he had some access to, a bunch of bones that were all wound up together. Now, the problem is with any of these ones is that the neck engaging with each other is too much neck. There's too many coils. It's not a real neck. So no matter how they try to spin it, even if this was somehow a real being, as far as anatomically goes, it couldn't have been an actual being that was alive because of how many times it coils around the other neck of the other being, and the two of them would have way too long a neck to do these things.
Yeah.
And it's not real.
And I'm going a wild theory that I'm throwing in. We're talking about Northern England. He could have traveled a bit. He could have gone further north. Maybe it's a depiction of Nessie.
And if you look at the illustrations,
is that so far fetched?
No.
Could be that he wasn't intrigued by that.
There were people that lived on Hadrian's Wall, which is not far from Carlisle, from Africa. Right? There were Africans that served on Hadrian's Wall, so it's not far-fetched to think that there may have been some stories passed down generation to generation of such things as giraffes or
elephants. Yeah, and
all
those
the African
stories
things
getting mixed up. Yeah, that's also a good explanation. Yeah. There's
only one picture that I looked at that could be a brontosaurus, but it has the wrong kind of hips. The structure is all wrong, so it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit because he hits the highlights here. Now he's got these are the tomb things, obviously, and there's several tombs out there. Again, somebody who spent part of their life, who might have been an early naturalist or whatever, finding some of these dinosaur things, it would have been an incredible find. It would have been some memorialized. It might have been mentioned at his funeral or in his things, and if he was a dedicated scientist, naturalist, whatever they call themselves, and he was looking at some dinosaur bones, he might have had some on his tomb. I'm willing to grant all that. I'm also willing to grant this was in the infancy of digging any of this stuff up, and they didn't know next to nothing of what they had or what they were. They were just beginning to classify them as their own species and everything, and so very little is known, and trying to give them benefit of the doubt, let's call it Simos. They surely didn't know much about what they had, so any information they gave out was probably wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's more likely to be a artistic phase in church history of building nightmare creatures, gargoyles, etc., that they used to decorate the churches with to keep demons away, etc. And I think that that's much more plausible to think that these are mythical creatures which people have invented in order to scare children with, effectively, and then they've come into art as a result of it. I think that's much more plausible than just saying that they discovered some kind of creature that they put it back together to think that it might have looked like this. I think that these, if anything, are just tales from the Bible, imaginings from the Bible. And let's face it, that's exactly what a lot of art in Europe is all about. It's just representations of Bible stories. Go back to 1300s in Italy, and they illiteracy was by far the dominant state of most people. 99% of people or 95% of people were illiterate. They couldn't read, so they couldn't. So there's no point in writing anything down for them. So the Catholic Church used to make pictures of everything: stained glass windows, murals, frescoes, etc., etc. Very, very common all throughout the church, including, I would say, the Anglican Church as well. And that was a way to explain the narrative and the stories to people that couldn't read. That's a much more plausible, naturalistic explanation as to why some of these things are.
Yeah, it doesn't breathe fire. I mean, what kind of fun is that? And like I said, we're gonna have a half hour left. We're gonna skip a little bit to some of the other ones because he's gonna go through the highlights here. So we're gonna see if we see the highlights here. See what he has next. We have tomb engravings, let's call them. So okay, tomb engravings is his proof of dinosaurs. What else you got?
Here's the Stegosaurus. Now, I think Wikipedia and various other people will tell you, oh, no. What you're seeing is really a lizard, and those are just leaves behind it in the background. Okay,
they have a great explanation for this. They think it's a rhino in this picture. It's a pygmy rhino. The plates are not attached to it. The tail is not the right size. The what is it? They don't. It has ears, but they don't. But they aren't depicted or are depicted as ears or something. There's too many wrongs with this image, biologically, to be a dinosaur as he's claiming. Now, it's obviously not, because when they show what it's supposed to be, it makes a lot more sense. Okay, what they want to do is they want to take the bony plates in the background, which are not attached to the figure, or nor by its tail or anything else, to show that it is one of these dinosaurs that had the bony plates on it. So they are trying really, really hard to make this a dino that wasn't, and it's more clearly I think it's a Sumatran rhino or something. Is a smaller one. If I'm not, I'm sorry, correct me. Whatever is a smaller one, that seems to be what is a depiction of. It is not a depiction of a dinosaur. This is just something that somebody picked up on that wants to see what they want to see. Is not a scientist or a historian or a naturalist or has any clue about the natural fauna or animal life or anything else. And the things in the background used to fill in the background, which are supposedly the bony plates of a Stegosaurus, are also used in other depictions, filling in the background. So it was a style that the artist was using to not leave blank spots on the artwork or whatever. And in certain areas where there would be, they used the certain patterns and stuff to fill it in. It is not the what do they call them? The plates on the back of the Stegosaurus. They are not. So no, it goes around a lot. I said at the beginning, you're not going to hear anything new in this, and it's very old. And this is the one of the temples in Vietnam, I think, and it's supposedly now again, as somebody pointed out, if these things were really regular, showing up everywhere. I think it was Mike that said, wouldn't we have more stories about these things? Well, why is there only one little tiny mention in this entire country about this dinosaur? You think if there was dinosaurs in this country, it would be on more than one silly temple in the middle of nowhere that, it seems to be forgotten about. So it does, again, seem to be that is not what they're talking about, because they were talking about it would be a lot bigger story, and it's not. So that's not what it is. Imagine that. Okay. And then what do we got next?
Well, I mean, you can believe that if you want to, but that looks like a Stegosaurus to me. It really.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like a Stegosaurus to anybody that's trained in the field. So nobody cares what you think, buddy. You are not an expert, okay? That there's a reason there are experts, and there are reasons that somebody would say, you want to call Bob about this because Bob knows all about this, okay? And when you call Bob, sure enough, Bob knows about the relief. He knows about when it was done. He knows about what animal it really is. He knows about animals that are specific to the area, etc., etc., etc. And wow, what do you know that Bob with his fancy PhD and everything by his name actually means something. He knows what he's talking about, okay? So it's not a dinosaur. Give it up.
But Bob is lying because Bob is angry at God.
Yeah, well, Bob's sorry, okay? What do you got next? Come on.
Okay. All right. This is a mosaic from this country, actually, Gloucestershire, circa 300 AD, late Roman, and we have these two. I would say that, obviously it's a very stylized picture, but they look like sea creatures. You also have a fish behind it, but they have very long necks. So sea monsters with very long necks.
They have very long necks.
On we go.
Oh my.
This is from the Golan Heights in Palestine. What is that? Not very clear, and it is very worn away. Maybe it's something else. Maybe I'm mistaken about that. Possibly.
You know, that's the first thing I'm going to agree with. Maybe you're mistaken. Maybe you are. Maybe you are seeing these things through the wrong eyes. Maybe you are seeing these things absolutely through the wrong eyes.
Oh my God.
Hey, Austin, how you doing?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Austin.
Sorry, I'm late.
Well, we were just running through seeing what else he's going to hit on here before the end of the video, because watching this video had nothing new in it. What was fascinating is that they are still pulling up Hawaiian shirt guy videos like they are some divine revelation, and they are so bad. Why anybody thinks, and this is at least twice in this video that they've commended this person for being, the invisible hero behind the scenes or something. You know what I mean?
No, I was sitting in the audience and I was watching and listening. You were talking about how if some megafauna existed, that it would be culturally significant. And I think you are absolutely right. We can back that up with real world examples. For instance, Thailand. In Thailand, elephants are a huge part of their culture. Elephants are one of the extant megafauna species that we still have, and you would be hard-pressed to walk down any street in Thailand without seeing some kind of depiction of an elephant. Their whole culture is actually elephants are kind of central to their whole culture, because elephants were a part of how they did war. They would train elephants. They would use elephants as mounts and siege weapons in war. They would use elephants to break down walls. In fact, there was an entire category of Muay Thai warriors called the Jaturangkabart, who were trained especially to protect elephants and to ride elephants and aid elephants in battle. If dinosaurs existed, you can be for damn sure there'd be some dino warriors somewhere in cultural history.
Yeah,
it wouldn't just be some drawing somewhere. You'd see you'd see that drawing, and then you'd see several other drawings. You'd have whole manuals about how to ride those dinosaurs into battle, how to defend that dinosaur if you get knocked off its back in battle. It's like, there's real world comparisons you can make there to back your argument up. And I didn't know if you knew about that, so I wanted to share that.
Oh, I've got a question. I've got a question for Austin, actually. If you don't mind, Austin.
Hit me.
Why did the dinosaur cross the road?
Is it to get to the other side?
No, it's because chickens hasn't evolved yet.
Ah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Go ahead, Brainless.
Haven't you heard of the Dino Riders?
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, those
We're
are
not going to
what's
leave
called,
anybody out.
those are what are called fictional. I'm talking about
No.
real ones.
I've watched them a lot on television when I was
No.
younger. So no, they can't be fake.
Let's see what else he's got here that's not fake.
At fighting with the dinosaur, he's stabbing it with some sort of knife.
Oh, he's got Inca stones. Wow. The ones that are self-admitted to be made to sell to tourists for profits and but they're real.
Yeah.
Things that
that's
the
the
artists
other thing,
themselves have said they make them to sell to tourists.
Yeah.
To make money, and they fake making them look old and everything. They're totally fake, but they're real.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's leaving me scratching my head over here is this guy does not seem to understand historical fiction. Like if I write a story about somebody wrestling with Paul Bunyan, and in the story I write, I have George Washington show up and congratulate Paul Bunyan for winning the match. Well, Paul Bunyan's not real. But because George Washington's in the story, George Washington was real. So now the story's real. It's like, come on, guy. They had fossils. So they dug up fossils and they created elaborate fictional stories about them where this is a fossil of a Leviathan, or this is a fossil of a dragon, or this is a fossil of this and that. And they were kind of close. They were correct in that this wasn't an organism that existed on the planet anymore. They were just wrong about what the organism was.
All right. Hey, Robin. Thanks for stopping by.
I was looking at the words that were translated into dragon from the Hebrew into English. And most modern translations don't even use dragon anymore because the root word for one of them basically goes back to the idea of the chaos monster of Mesopotamian mythology. And of course, you have big, scary sea animals on which to base your myths and your legends about chaos. And so don't even need dinosaurs for that. And the more I look between Babylon and Israel, there were very few dinosaur bones to find upon which to base your mythology. It's more likely they got it from the ocean-based mythology of Babylon, and then it just kind of got spread and changed into the Jewish mythology.
The human species knew about fossils before evolution was, coined by Darwin.
Now,
and we debated species fixity versus species changing before Darwin too. And it's interesting how they get a really selective education on the history of this how these worldviews have developed. And it's bizarre to me.
Now, there's a lot of evidence that the Chinese came across dinosaur fossils and called them dragon bones, and actually made, what's it called, apothecary type remedies out of those crushed up, quote unquote, dragon bones. There's documentation of that, but there's very little to go on to say that they knew about dinosaurs and therefore that's what they call dragons. There's just not really much to support that.
Yeah. So in the way that Christianity and several other religions have explanatory myths, like the myth about how Eve was made from Adam's rib, and to explain why there's two sexes, there were myths about where fossils came from. There was a myth that fossils were statues, that they were carved by, angels or genies and left in the earth. We had explanatory myths for fossils. This argument is basically pretending like the explanatory myth was never refuted by a better scientific explanation. It's really funny, kind of confusing.
It seems like he's gotten comfortable in the video here. He's taking a seat.
What? He's taking seed? What? Never mind.
One of the ways, let's see.
That's Lewis and Short for Drag. Lewis and Short, some of you will know, is the equivalent of Liddell and Scott. Liddell and Scott is the definitive dictionary of Greek. I think Liddell was professor of classics at Christ Church.
I thought it was something interesting.
Some people have suggested those animals don't have necks, but it was enormous. And this sort of thing does happen once in a while.
What?
We don't know what lives in the depths of the oceans. Next slide.
I'm pretty sure we do now. Maybe not everything, but we're pretty sure we got a good handle on the types of creatures.
Yeah, this seems to be he's pulling articles out about odd things that have been pulled from the oceans, and they're all deteriorated. There's chunks of skin on some bone, and the things look really weird, and they depict them as sea monsters and all kinds of things. But well, yeah, when you have a creature that's most of it has fallen off the bone, it's kind of hard to tell what the thing looked like. A
lot of that is because we're talking about species that are acclimated to high levels of pressure, and if you remove them from that pressure, they explode. Shock, shock and awe.
Not
surprise,
much left, yeah.
surprise. If you take it out of its high pressure environment that it's evolved a high level of internal pressure to compensate for, then yeah, it gets deformed. But in its own environment, it looks fine and it survives fine. I assume that's what we're talking about.
Let's see. I don't know if I give a name.
On the other side of the country, the East Coast, this is 1970. This is a newspaper report about it. Shades of Loch Ness Monster. Again, it's a great big old long sea creature.
Okay, well, Loch Ness Monster. Bree and I have covered Loch Ness Monster, and we've talked about it. We've talked about Loch Ness together, and I always enjoy my discussions with Bree. She's very insightful to these things, and as someone who used to be a believer, she has a unique insight from the believer to the skeptic. And there are no large creatures that are described for the Loch Ness Monster. That seems to be a myth. What they seem to be describing is, at best, seals, which are not that large. And there's some northern fur seals around the area. It also seems to come from where the story of the Selkies comes from, which are... They're seals too, okay? There seems to be some seals, but they're not these large creatures. And something I found out about seals...
Did you guys ever talk about mermaids?
Yeah.
So the history of the mermaid, right?
Yeah, it's changing, especially with the Selkies being on land creatures. And after they get their nookie, then they take off.
I'm talking about mariners of antiquity spending long months at sea and becoming so sexually pent up that they would mistake manatees for semi-aquatic women.
I've brought that up before. How long do you have to be at sea before a manatee looks good to you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, dang, baby. I've been gone a while,
Dude, we gotta fucking
let's come on over my house.
But that, I think you've got to be at sea so long that you've eaten everybody else on the ship.
There is something to be said for, being at sea for a long time makes you very lonely. And the idea of mermaids and everything coming from sea cows. I mean,
Fun fact, actually, I don't know if you're aware of this, but mermaids are evolved from dolphin ribs.
Oh, I missed that. I missed that verse in the Bible.
Yeah, it's there. It's in the Seaman's Bible.
Oh, okay. See, I knew I was missing a book.
In the Seaman Bible?
Yeah,
that's probably that's the one my mom tore out and wouldn't let me have. So.
yeah, I'm not surprised. Oh, those ribs, they can get pretty sexy. Some of the I have met some pretty sexy ribs in my time, I can tell you that.
Oh, let's see what ribs? We'll see what he's going to wrap up on. This, like I said, this was a series of the man is obsessed with Hovind. There are people that think he is some kind of genius. I don't know why. They think he's got it all figured out. I don't know why. Yeah, well, they are.
I'm going to repeat it again. I said this like 3 or 4 times while we've been talking about this guy. Get better role models, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, Austin was here last week. He knows this guy's terrible arguments. He started out last week, which was the first in this series, talking about how Hovind is so misunderstood and how he owns all of academia and he's just all that in a bag of chips. And probably why he was crumbling through the video, letting us know that he's still relevant. For some reason, people are still finding Hovind, still thinking he has good arguments, and I don't get it. I think he's a royal joke, and but there's something about Jesus that has an effect on people, and they'll let other things go as long as you're talking about Jesus. And Hovind seems to have zoomed in on the fact that he knows when to stop talking about other stuff and just say Jesus, and then everything's okay again.
Yeah, so I think this is my viewpoint on it. When it comes to debating things, there's a few different ways you can do it. One of the ways you can be good at debating is to know the subject just like insanely well, to have a buttload of data to back up your argument, to know all the data and the statistics and the facts that back up your arguments really well, and to articulate them really well, and to source them really well, and to just overwhelm your opponent with an incredible argument that's full of sources, And another way you can debate things is to be so fractally, fundamentally wrong about everything you say that your opponent has to basically teach you 3 or 4 entry-level college courses to explain how and why you're wrong. And Hovind uses the latter model. And for the people that are lauding him, they don't care that that's his approach to the debate. They care that it works, that it frustrates his opponents, that it makes his opponents look dumb, and that it gives him these quote mineable moments, and these he can selectively edit the debates and make his opponent look stupid. So for them, that is equal to him being a genius and being so good at debating. I think there's a good cliche that kind of sums it up, which is that you can silence 50 scholars with a single fact, but you can't silence a single idiot with 50 facts. And that is basically Hovind's model.
Yeah. And, well, with all that, it is about 8 o'clock. And I'm going to sum up this video series as saying it's crap, because right off from the start, he was citing Hovind, who's crap. This guy has no training in anything theological or science or anything else. He says, I taught earth science and all these. The only thing he ever really taught, it seems, was stuff that he did for a church homeschooling type thing. That was mostly his kids. He's not the teacher he claims he be. As in the school system, I think somebody was looking up if he was an accredited teacher, whatever they call it, or something. He isn't. All the stuff he talks about is a bunch of crap. So, luckily, it doesn't seem that he's now Christian things and everything we don't have any control over. But it seems, as far as academia, that he's been kept out of it. And in spite of what he says, he's not a former teacher or anything else.
Yeah.
A bunch of nonsense.
I have researched that intensely because Hovind claims he taught algebra for 15 years, yet he didn't know what a fucking squared function is. Okay, the man didn't know that when you put a tiny little number above a number, that means you're multiplying that number by itself that number of times. He didn't know what the fuck the squared function was. So I didn't think it was possible that he could have ever actually taught algebra without knowing that. So I've researched it intensely, and here is what I currently think. And there's a bunch of evidence to back this up. Hovind taught basic mathematics, like 2 + 3 = 5, to middle school and below level students at religious schools for a couple months on and off here and there over several years. He misrepresents that as, I taught algebra, science, physical science, like 14 other subjects for like 15 to 20 years. And that is not even close to the reality of the situation. He never taught algebra. He never taught physical science. He didn't teach for 15 years. He taught for a few months on and off. Sorry, Simon. Go ahead.
Even I understand that level of
You're fine.
Math. Oh my God. And like, my education level is not that high. Like, shit.
Yeah, no. He likes to shoot people down. He likes to set himself up as the ultimate authority and everything. And
yes,
the reality is he's not an authority on anything.
Yes.
And especially, like I like to point out, these people that are so into theological discussions, they're not experts in theology either. You think they'd at least be an expert in theology, and they're not theologians either.
No, but
the only thing I can say with any certainty that Kent Hovind is he is a Christian pastor who taught some basic math for a couple of months. That is the actual truth. And he has embellished that to the point of lying.
I find that a lot of these so-called teachers, right, and I'm including Mr. Batman or Jim and Jill and a few others, the people that claim that they're teachers, what they've actually taught is Sunday school.
Yeah.
That's it. So they've gone in and they call themselves math teachers because a kid asked them about maths or something like that. And then they go, oh, yeah, I taught maths because I answered a maths question for somebody, or a history. Oh, yeah, because I taught history from the Bible. So that makes me a history teacher, or whatever it is, right?
Exactly.
Chemistry or physics or,
Oh,
yeah, no, I told
an embellishment.
I told a 5-year-old about gravity, therefore I'm a physics teacher.
Yeah, that way it's not an outright lie. There's like some basis of truth to it, but they embellish it to the point that it is a lie, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, somebody spoke about, said something about my buddy Brad earlier, and it's been bugging me ever since they said something about Brad. So I think tonight we're going to go out with some Brad here. But before we go out, can I share one more thing? We were talking a little while back about serpents and snakes and getting bit by snakes, and why it's important to know about them, because you can get bit by a venomous snake. And guess who of all people got bit by a venomous snake? Our very own kindergarten dropout, Mr. Hawaiian Shirt Man himself, got bit by a venomous rattlesnake. And I really wish that I had been the doctor that had been working at the hospital when he came to get the anti-venom, so that I could have just been like, some sugar water.
Yeah, no, we don't. It doesn't matter what species it was. We'll give you any anti-venom, right? Because you're always saying the animals don't care how we categorize them. So here, I'll give you some anti-venom from, a common rattler. Let's give you some anti-venom from that. We don't need to know the specific species. It doesn't matter. Like, Kent Hovind had his life saved by evolutionary science. And it does kind of irk me that he now uses the rest of that life, which was given to him by evolutionary science, to malign evolutionary science. What an ungrateful bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go.
Well, before we call out, before we play the Brad video, let's give everybody a chance to say hi, hello, where you at, what you got going on, all that kind of thing. So why don't we start out with our favorite, Brainless. I seen Slim might be back next week or something.
Yeah, he's dealing with stuff. I don't know. Like it's I actually don't know. Like we have been playing some games, so he might be doing a bit better. But yeah, and now I heard like today I saw that a couple of days back he has fallen from a stairs. So yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, he was a dumbass.
Well, we hope Slim gets back on his good leg soon. Then, and of course, Slim, you're always welcome to stop by here. You're a friend of the channel, and if you want to hang out with us over here, come by a Saturday and say hi to the crowd, and you're always welcome to hang out with us. And other than that, you said you've been playing some games there, Brainless?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a bit of Red Dead with Slim, like not on live streams or whatever, but
okay.
So that's at least a sign that he's doing a bit better.
Okay. Simos, what you got something planned yet coming up, or is it still in the hiatus?
Well, the Onion is still on hiatus, although I'm hoping in a week or two I'll get back to that, I guess. I don't know yet. Depends on particular news that I'm waiting for. But, of course, Monday I've got the Formula One show live from Singapore. So we'll be either flying off to Singapore or not flying off to Singapore for tomorrow's race. And then we'll be doing the show on Monday. Either from Singapore or not from Singapore, and that would be very exciting. That's 9 o'clock UK time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I guess that is central. And Singapore Formula One Grand Prix review with Fabio, of course, and Lucky 7
and
Wolfin.
Mike seems to have dropped off.
Yeah, he had to go. He said something about people.
Okay.
He said people over, etc. in the background. So
yeah, he said people were coming over, so I guess he decided to run away.
Yeah, I think
to be honest with you, people coming over. Okay.
I think he was a bit shocked by the evidence given on tonight's video for Dragons.
Oh,
yeah, he's blown away.
Do you think he's at a church somewhere trying to convert?
Yeah, well, he's probably just in the corner crying. He's got all this so wrong about evolution when all he had to do was read Daniel.
Yeah. Well, Scott, I know Mike's been doing some stuff here and there. He's been showing up. He tried to do something first thing in the morning, but didn't happen until the afternoon. But he's been doing a few things. He was on with Andrew or something the other day, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did a talk with Andrew and there's this guy. He did a team up with Austin to talk about.
Oh yeah, that Austin guy.
Life and everything. And the chemical aspects of it as well. It got really detailed, and he's been doing his studies of cellular life and the chromosome 2 fusion issue, and I think he's been also boning up on Java thinking of doing some programming. So he's busy. He's always busy.
Yep, and he's still working on embryology, so we can talk about that too. He said he'll be ready in about 2 years.
And Austin, of course, is very studious these days and putting out videos and doing a lot of talks with people, including Mike. You got anything else planned coming out, Austin? Are you busy at school?
Do.
Or
So I have one video that I'm going to make about creationist on Facebook who plagiarized my content without attributing it to me. So I'm going to make a video about that, do a little victory lap that I'm living so rent-free in creationists' head that they're plagiarizing my stuff without giving me credit for it. So that look out for that. And I'm also starting a whole other series. I'm adding some content to my channel that isn't going to be counter pseudoscience. I'm going to be doing a series about how to use science to be a better Dungeons and Dragons player or dungeon master. I'm starting a series called Dicey Science, and I'm going to use science to teach people how to be better Dungeons and Dragons players. So keep an eye out for that. I'm thinking I'm going to film the first episode of that this weekend, assuming my slightly scratchy, itchy throat can handle it. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold, but I'm gonna do this series to, add some variety to my channel, and it'll still be kind of scientific themed, but it'll be fun. We'll get to talk about one of my favorite games, Dungeons and Dragons, and some of the cool fantasy stuff in there, and how you can use science to make a better Dungeons and Dragons game. So that's going to be coming soon. And for each episode, I've generated some homebrew content for you to actually use in your Dungeons and Dragons game. So I'm hoping this series might make me a little bit of money too, that, people will want to buy some of my D&D content and use it.
I have another question for you, Austin.
Sure.
If you wouldn't mind. Okay. So what do you call a dinosaur with an extensive vocabulary?
A thesaurus.
Hey!
Simply Secular Dave wanted to know, what did they call the autopsy of Michael Jackson at the medical examiner's office? Open mic night. Heyo. With closing remarks, watch for me having the night watch. I think I already have next Saturday planned with a lady that claims there are whole cities underneath the pyramids. So I think we might take a look at that next week. And I also have some videos coming out. People have been asking me about my health issue, trying to avoid it tonight. I've talked about it a lot, and I'll be talking about it some more. I don't want to really talk about it on these shows, but I do want to let people know as hello, here we go. Went blurry for a minute. Maybe that's not a good sign. Am I disappearing from the picture? This week is going to be a full week of therapy for yours truly. I'm going to go in and they are going to shoot lasers at me all week long, and we'll see how I come out the other side of this. So everybody cross your fingers. And I'm going for a full week, and they're going to get me every day. So I'm all booked. Otherwise, I have been also doing talks on some other folks' channels, and they've been gracious enough to tell me, please repost that on your channel. So if you haven't seen my talk with Brooklyn Lou, that is coming out in several days, because I had already done a talk with a Mighty Filbert, and the Mighty Filbert goes first, so I put his talk out first. So there is a talk out with the Mighty Filbert that I have reposted on my channel. You can find out a little bit about my channel and about me, and about my health news. And the same thing with Brooklyn Lou. Both of them did a great interview of me, and they said, why don't we have you on and talk a little bit about the captive desk? So we did. So if you want to learn about the captive desk and what's going on with me and my channel and my health and all those kind of things, stay tuned. Those are being put out. Thank you very much, guys, for letting me repost them. and I will
Okay,
do.
I have to.
it soon.
I actually have to disappear. But I hope you enjoy. Have fun at the Laser Quest. That'll be good. And thank you everybody for the fantastic show.
Thanks,
I've
Simon.
learned so much today. I really have, and I'm just sorry that those people have got British accents, because clearly they know fuck all. Apart from that, I'm out of here. Thank you very much,
All right,
guys.
thanks,
Simos. Take
See
care.
you, Simos.
Well, you
gotta be careful with that British accent, because us Americans, we hear that and we assume you know what you're talking about. We assume.
I have no idea why.
Yeah,
you would have thought. You would have thought in this last 250 years you would have learned, but there we are.
Nope.
All right, see you later, guys. Bye.
All right, and with that, like I said, somebody mentioned Brad earlier, and I think it's a good day to play Brad. So we're gonna go out on some Brad. Headphone check, everybody, and thank you everybody for being here. Always appreciate everybody stopping by for a Saturday night at the Atheist, and we do plan on being here next week. I think I have a video in mind already, so it might already be taken care of, and it should be a lot of fun as usual. We try to be informative and have a little fun here at Saturday Night at the Atheist, because life's too serious, and sometimes we take it a little too serious, and we all need a moment where we can kick back and not take things so seriously, like when we listen to Brad. So have a good one, everybody. I'll see you next time. Thanks, Brainless and Austin, and everybody that was here tonight on the panel, and have a good week.
Right back at you.
No such thing as an atheist. You guys do not exist. Hey, Answers in Atheism, and that desktop idiot, and that desktop idiot, and that desktop idiot. You're fool. See here, dead fly. Dead fly. Millions and billions of years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, nothing exploded. Dead fly. You call me crazy. Plan of thy destruction. Wait a minute, am I reading the right thing? And you know what, atheist? Right. And you know what, atheist? Right. And you know what, atheist? Right. Oh, you atheist, especially that one desktop idiot. Self-theist, plan of thy destruction. Wait a minute, am I reading the right thing? On you. That's why I say, hey, have a great time. Hey there, Answers in Atheism or Atheist, whatever you were. Oh, you atheist, especially that one desktop idiot. And you know what? There, atheist, you're right. Unless the Lord Jesus Christ saves you, you are going to go to hell and burn forever.
Oh no.
That's going to be it for this little video.